morning, Ghana. Good morning, lovely listeners of Ghana Talks Radio. You are tuning to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show right here on Ghana Talks Radio. I am your host, Esinam Fiagbedu. It's a beautiful brand new day, and we are here to bring you the latest headlines making waves in the news, from business to politics, from sports to entertainment, and everything in between. We got you covered with the most relevant stories. As usual, joining me today on our headline review is Miss Regina Bless and Miss Debbie Adoso. Good morning, my ladies.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm great. What of you?
I'm fine. I must say that you are looking dashing this morning.
Thank you. This is the holiday edition.
Oh, yeah. Today is a holiday.
I know, right?
Oh.
So I'm prepared. I came prepared.
How come I'm not feeling it?
I'm not feeling it because we are here.
We are here.
We are here to entertain the listeners.
We are here to save the nation. Oh, how was your weekend, by the way?
My weekend was great, kind of, but stressful a bit. I had one or two things to do, so it was very stressful.
Oh, okay. I had a very stress-free weekend.
Stress-free?
Yeah, I kind of like made. I went to lectures, but you know it's revision week. We are preparing for exams. So.
Yeah, I remember way back during a SHS JHS revision. Full 1 week, no learning, running about.
Oh, but that learning, you need to do it on your own.
Exactly.
You know. All right, so let's dive straight into our headlines for today. Avoid politicizing ECG missing containers scandal. Afenyo Markin. Minority leader and member of parliament for Efutu, Alexander Afenyo Markin, has called on politicians to refrain from politicizing the ongoing controversies surrounding the missing electricity company of Ghana containers and instead focus on addressing systemic inefficiencies in state institutions. Afenyo Markin, also the former board chair of the ECG, stressed the need for a bipartisan approach to resolving the crisis. His remarks comes in the wake of revelations that over 1,300 ECG containers filled with essential equipment have gone missing at the Tema port. In an investigative report, found discrepancies in the number of uncleared containers, raising concerns over potential mismanagement or corruption. Energy and Green Transition Minister John Abdullahi Jinapo has pledged to recover the missing containers or their monetary value, underscoring the importance of accountability in the sector. In response, Afenyo Markin has assured Jinapo of his support should he pursue a genuine overhaul of the system. The minority leader also emphasized the structural inefficiencies within state-owned enterprises, noting that they contribute to recurrent crisis. Afenyo Markin lamented how politicians' interference often aggravates institutional problems, arguing that leaders should focus on sustainable solutions rather than partisan blame game. So here are some key highlights of the story. Over 1,300 containers belonging to the Electricity Company of Ghana, filled with essential equipment, have reportedly gone missing at the Tema port. An investigative report revealed discrepancies in the count of uncleared containers. Alexander Afenyo Markin, minority leader and member of parliament for Efutu, has urged politicians to avoid politicizing the scandal. Instead, he advocates for a bipartisan approach to address systematic inefficiencies. Energy and Green Transition Minister John Abdullahi Jinapo has promised to recover the containers on their monetary value, emphasizing the need for accountability in the energy sector. Afenyo Markin highlighted the recurring issue within state-owned enterprises, attributing many crises to structural inefficiencies and political interference. So this is what Afenyo Markin has to say with regards to the 1,300 missing containers at the Tema port. He says that this is not the time to politicize this crisis. They need they need to come together as a party. It should be solved in a bipartisan approach, and this is coming from the minority leader, Afenyo Markin. I was quite surprised when I saw that. Finally, is he buying, or does he want to involve himself in solving this situation?
I wouldn't say he's buying whatever, or should I say he's finding ways and means to try to solve this issue. I feel that he was the former board member.
Yeah.
So
in a way, he's involved in it.
Yes, I don't have money for court, but maybe now a GhanaTalks radio or my Bible support and say in a court issue. But one thing I wanted to say was, are we not sure that this man is involved?
Well,
this, should I say, corruption scandal? Because
as it stands right now, we can't say that he was involved or something, but he has pledged that in case Jinapo wants any assistance with investigation, he is willing and then ready to support.
Oh, then we need to investigate.
So he's actually given the chance to open up to any questions they need to ask.
All right. So this boils down to accountability and transparency. Because I feel that not everyone who has been in power would come out to be accountable, would even come out to say that if there's any questions you have for me, just come to me, I would answer you. It's also linked me to the oral, when the oral team were investigating some politician involved in this corruption scandal. I saw an article where he said that if the oral team and they involve himself, his properties or whatsoever in the investigation, he will sue them. And I was like, if truly you are devoid of any scandal, you are free of any debt, you shouldn't be scared. First time in history, a micro-minority leader, Alexander Afenyo-Markin, has said something that this is like when the dove came upon Jesus Christ.
Wow.
This is my son in whom I am well pleased.
In whom you are well pleased.
I would say that I am very, very happy with his utterances, with his statement. And I think that because he is involved in a way, or because he once was a board member, shouldn't be that is why he's saying that they shouldn't politicize this kind of thing. I feel that in every situation, in every issue that arises in the government sector, they shouldn't politicize it.
Okay.
It is high time they stop it, because with this doomso, it is associated with Mahama. With this doomso, it is associated with Nana Akufo-Addo. So, babes, excuse me for that. I feel that they shouldn't politicize it. If maybe they can only politicize it if only this MPP official is involved, NDC official is involved. That is when you can blame this government. You understand what I'm trying to say? So with him saying this, I totally agree with him, and I would urge him to continue with what he is doing. I quite remember when he went for an interview on Channel 1, he said he is yet to start torturing the NDC government. Chese, the torture, they are now to enjoy it more. So with what he said, if I know where I would find him, I would have given him an allowance for the month, because it's good.
Well, I must say that I was excited when I saw this utterances or this statement made by him, because I believe that it is high time we stop doing politics with everything, even in terms of corruption. If the person is found guilty, if the person is found wanted, I think they need to deal with the person individually, but not simply because the person is actually affiliated to a government that was previously in opposition. For him to come out to say that we shouldn't, let me get that right, so I don't it doesn't make it look as if I'm lying. Okay. So for him to advocate for a bipartisan approach, that means that the NDC government and the NPP governments need to come together to solve this problem and find whoever that is involved in the missing containers from the ECG. So I think for him to come and say that is actually a good start to address the issue in a whole.
And also with this kind of corruption scandal or this ECG containers missing, I assure you 100% that it's not only an individual involved in this. This is the handiwork of groups, because they say that together we stand. Not an individual can do this. A lot of people are involved. This is like all hands on deck.
All hands on deck.
Bring your A1 game on board. So I feel that if this team, the MPP and the NDC team, they come together, not politicizing any corruption or any issue going on in the government sector, I feel that they will be able to solve meaningful issues. Yeah.
So, Energy and Green Transition Minister John Abdullahi Jinapor has promised to recover the containers or their monetary values. So, this should tell us that even if the items in the containers have been stolen, if they are not able to retrieve the containers, the monetary value, whatever money that costs them in regards to the container, they will retrieve it. And I think that is good. They won't allow those people go scot-free. And you see, when it comes to cases like this, political interference comes in and the case is left ajar. Like it's just left like that. And I think all hands on deck, like as he said, the NPP and then the NDC government need to come together. Bipartisans need to collaborate and then address this issue well. And I think that is going to go a long way for them to catch the culprit or whoever that is involved in the missing containers.
Yeah.
Miss Debbie, what's your overview of the story?
In as much as Afenyomakin is right, that we shouldn't politicize this whole issue. I feel like he himself needs to be investigated.
Of course, he will. And I think all the workers.
Because he was part of the former board that was actually brought up to investigate corrupted issues related to the same issue under their previous government. And even the former Minister for Energy, what is his name? Napo. He also needs to be investigated because he was a former Minister for Energy, and anything that has to do with electricity works hand in hand with the Energy Minister. And I wouldn't say that this containers lost within a twinkle of an eye, or no one will say that this containers got missing in a day under this current government.
Okay.
1,300 containers cannot just get missing like that. So I feel like these containers got missing under the previous government, and it was detected in this current government. Because you can't tell me 1,300 containers just got missing.
But
like
are there any evidences that proves that this current government is not involved in this scandal? Because we can't just draw a conclusion that simply because it happened last year. So
I'm not drawing a conclusion, and I haven't come across any evidence as to that. But what I'm saying is that, you see, Afenyomakin is a trickster.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, yes.
Why do you say so?
He's a trickster. You know, he has been bashing the government of late.
The new government.
The new government. Okay. And this is an incident where you've been part of a board. Let's say something like a committee to investigate issues like this. But during the previous government, comparing to this government came not quite long though. Yeah. But let's look at this. Were they being sincere to we the citizens, like the way this current government are? I mean, any details containing missing things they come to tell us.
My problem is, were they even transparent with us in as much as this government?
They were not transparent. And you see, Afenyomakin in this situation, he has been, I mean, bashing the government. But this is a case where I feel like he realized that this is an incident where intellectual citizen will sit down and say that this missile containers just got lost under this current government. So if I bash them, definitely they are going to come for me. That's how I see it. So the best thing to do is just to push their focus from me. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Okay, so let me get you. You are saying that the missing containers cannot be missing under this government simply because maybe you've heard in other stories that is it the Chinese or the national
Indian national?
The Indian national says that these containers were actually sold to them as of last year.
Last year, who was in power?
They were in power, but NDC was also in parliament as well. So what
NDC
if they could
was
have
in parliament?
So what if they could have collaborated?
Akufo-Addo Bawumia was in government. See, even if the opposition was still from the state, it wouldn't be as much as your government being in power. You get it? So as I said, Afenyomarkin is just trying to push your focus from him. Because see,
you think so?
Yes.
Based on what grounds?
If we want to investigate this thing, it should start from the former energy minister, all the boards, like all those involved in, let me say, the committee that was brought up as at that time to also investigate matters like this. All those people needs to be investigated, because this current what's the name, Minister of Energy is saying that he's trying his best, and we all can say it. When the previous government was in power, how many times did they tell you that this was what was missing? This is what we are doing. I stand to be corrected. Me, I haven't heard anything. Like, maybe you've heard, you can correct me, please. So Afenyomarkin is shifting you are not realizing it, but I'm telling you the truth. He's shifting the focus from himself. And I earlier on said that yes, we are not supposed to politicize this issue. This is something that is a concern to the state. 1,300 containers is not something we should joke about here. But what I'm saying is that you cannot tell me that those containers got missing in a day under the current government, and you emphatically stated in what you just read that some of these containers, the containers actually were sold to this Indian national in the last year. And Akufo-Addo Bawumia was in power last year. Napo was the former energy minister. Afenyomarkin was part of the board. So you cannot tell me this. There is something.
But as it stands right now, he is giving his assurance to the energy minister that he is open for any question or any assistance in case any genuine overhaul comes up.
It's part of the process. It's part of the process.
I think it's too early for us to be accusing or pointing fingers at government officials that simply.
I'm not pointing fingers at them, but you see, it's just like this. If you want to investigate and know who is solemnly responsible for that act, you cannot investigate the current people who they just appointed. You have to start from the previous ones, because they left behind what you are handling today. So if there is a loop or there is a hole somewhere, and I have been appointed currently, I should ask you, why is this hole here? Isn't it supposed to be covered? Why is it not covered up to this time? So you start from them. That's why I said, I'm not pointing at Afenyomarkin. I earlier on said that what he's saying is true. We are not supposed to politicize anything here. This is an issue.
Yeah, I think that is a good start by saying that there's no need for them to politicize the issue.
But he himself needs to be investigated.
Everyone involved will actually be investigated simply because he was he was part of the former board executives. So how do you think this issue can actually be addressed?
It's simple. Very simple. You see, the Indian nationals that were arrested.
Yeah, and some eight Chinese,
and then
people.
I think Ghanaian was also part.
And one Ghanaian.
Yes,
exactly.
Through these people, we will know the person who sold these containers to them.
Okay.
Because you cannot tell me that I cannot. It's even unexplainable. Let me say, me telling manager that I came for, no, I don't even work here, and then all of a sudden the console is missing. And someone is alleging that the console have been sold to Deborah. Who sold the console to me? It means there is someone in here who sold that console to me, and the person in here might also be connected to a public official. So I feel like the only way to solve this issue is to properly interrogate those people, investigate them, and make sure that they bear the consequences, even if we have to torture them for them to tell us the people sold. Because it is true that we can actually arrest these people, but if we arrest them and it becomes something normal we say, and then at the end of the day we don't hear anything from it, it will become like back and forth. Issue at the end of the day, it will just end nowhere. So as I said, very simple, the people we've arrested, they're the only people who can tell us who sold those containers to them. And if we are able to arrest those people, and not only arresting them, we should make sure that they face the law. You cannot sell something that belongs to the state.
Exactly.
It's not your mom's property. It's for the state.
It's
so
for the
you
state.
need to be prosecuted. But when we don't do that, then trust me.
All right, Ms. Regina, how do you think this issue can actually be addressed?
Okay, so as she said, I do agree with her 100%. This is not a personal property, but it is a state property. You have no right whatsoever
in your own will to go and sell them.
Yeah. And the perpetrators involved, Indian national, Chinese national, like seriously, this all boils down to the Ghanaian individual. I feel that it will be very hard for corruption to be eradicated in our system as it stands now, because it looks like we, the Ghanaian citizens, are the one giving the people the upper hand to come into our country and commit this hideous crime. Looking at Aisha One, she was set scot-free. And I wouldn't be surprised when the time would come where we wouldn't hear anything about this ECG containers. So I feel, and I also learned some companies were actually involved in this. I stand to be corrected.
Okay.
But if truly these companies are really involved with it, I feel that there is a contract between the government and these companies.
Okay.
By so doing, if truly the investigation will go on as planned, and they are serious about getting hold of these perpetrators, I feel that first of all they should terminate contracts with companies involved in the scandal. I don't know if it's Dawot Bond Limited and Mains Logistics Limited. These are the two companies I'm seeing. These two companies should also be made to face the law. Not only face the law, pay charges. Even if they're supposed to close down their company, they need to do it. It's high time the government need to deal with these people with strict hands. This is not a matter of blending strictness with flexibility. We are not kids. If you apprehend a thief, you do not blend strictness with flexibility. You have to go with full hands, full iron hands, full nyanya. Deal with the person. And this officers involved, politicians involved, they should stop taking bribes. This bribe issue, they should. The last time I went to Kwabena, in front of me, and an officer took bribe from the motor rider. And I was like, seriously? It has got to the point where they do not fear. They have no fear. Even if they are in uniform, they take the bribe with their full chests. After all, bribe no be ayebi. And also, secondly, I think reform and restructuring. They should reform and restructure. Yeah. And also accountability and transparency. Every officer involved needs to face the law, needs to be transparent, needs to be accountable of their action. As humans, whatever action that you bring out, you should know that you would one day be accountable for it. You do not just wake up on your own accord because you have the free will, because the life is yours. So you, if truly our life is ours, do you think that there would be something called the courts? No, we would be living our lives freely.
Yeah. There'll be even lawlessness and then chaos in the country. So I think it's due diligence if regulations and rules are being set down for us to abide by. So I think with regards to what Afenyo is saying, it's a good statement he's making. Per that, I think they should stop politicizing corruption. If anybody is caught in corruption, that person should be dealt with. And I feel like it's high time we deal with the individual rather than we are dealing with the individual simply because that person is affiliated to maybe a party in opposition. I think that one won't help us as a country or even bring justice or bring those perpetrators to books. So them collaborating and then coming together as one people to solve this issue and to do the proper investigation and bring these people to book is, I think, is a good start to address the issue.
Are you sure?
Oh no, that is what he's saying.
But I'm
and then
asking whether you are sure
that
they are going to collaborate.
Oh, that is what he is saying.
Arrest people,
so I'm saying that based on his statements, because he's saying that it's high time they stop politicizing the issue.
I understand what you're saying, but what I'm trying to say that, are you sure?
I think we need to
be going to collaborate with the NDC, even if the corporates are from the New Patriotic Party.
Oh, why?
Why not? If they want to gain the trust of Ghanaians, and then they are willing to help the NDC catch those perpetrators or whoever that is involved in the missing containers, I think that is a green flag for them. Because here lies the case: this party came into power, and you've been able to help this party to fish out corrupted leaders or corrupted government officials in your party. Is that not an upper hand for their party? Because maybe they can mention in the books that okay, when you came to party, in as much as we were cleared out in a very disgraceful manner, we helped you to catch the perpetrators even when they were involved in the party. So with this, I think they are dealing with the individuals rather than them being affiliated to the party. In my opinion, that is what I think it means.
I agree with you, and I also feel that once these people or these perpetrators are being caught, they should make sure that they do not involve themselves.
So with this, there will be no political interference. They should be made to face the beat.
And they shouldn't go behind closed doors to help these people.
Yes, irrespective of their political party. If the person is an NDC and is involved in a scandal, why not take the person, let the person face the law. If the person is an NPP, let the person face the law. When it comes to that, you are not politicizing the issue. You are being neutral. You've been caught. That is why you are being punished. So I think for him to come out to say that he is genuinely interested to help with the investigation, I think is good. But even if he doesn't come out to say that, definitely he will be investigated, because he was once a board member of the ACG company.
I wasn't really talking about he being investigated. What I'm saying is,
are we sure?
Yes.
The issue is, I think we need to be optimistic about this.
I know why I'm saying this.
Why are you
saying it? It looks as if you're actually in Afenyo Makin's mind.
No, it's not like that. All politicians are equally the same.
Okay.
When MPP came into power, they've seen that they pointed a lot of people who embezzled from the state, who are from the National Democratic Congress.
They've assisted people who are
no. They've pointed out people.
The NPP.
Yes, pointed out people from the National Democratic Congress who embezzle from the state. But have you heard any of them being prosecuted? That's what I'm trying to say. And this is a case where Afenyo Makin is saying he is going to assist, and trust me, he assisting is not
the issue.
It's not as if personally, it's like the New Patriotic Party.
So you think it's a strategy just to get under the skins of the NDC?
That's what I'm saying. Are you sure these two people are going to collaborate to ensure that these perpetrators, even if they are from the opposition party, will be prosecuted? Let's look at this side as well.
So if they are not prosecuted, then I think we need to question the Minister for Energy, and then because I think he is the one leading the whole investigation. And then if someone is your opponent is actually deciding to collaborate with you, and then you don't want to take advantage of that and bring those perpetrators to book, then what kind of a leader are you?
You know, jokes aside, with what Afenyomakin did, I feel it's the right step in the right direction.
Oh yeah, I think so.
For him to even be to be bold enough to come out to ready for action, ready to be transparent, ready to be accountable. First of all, you are garnering the trust of Ghanaians.
Yes.
So if you've come out to give this step and you do not make sure that you win the trust of we Ghanaians, do you think you come out again to say something and we would be following shiplessly? Just
well, I feel that he's actually been proactive with the case, because definitely he knew he's going to be investigated. So why not I come out and say that, okay, I know I'm going to be investigated simply because I was once a board member of the ECG.
Exactly.
So this is what I'll help you with. I'm ready for any genuine effort I'm going to put into your investigation.
He should be applauded, but for me, it's a political.
But with what Debbie
that
saying,
will be on personal.
I do agree with her in some aspects. If he wasn't once a board member, do you think he would still come out to say that they need to or they can come to him and ask him any questions? If truly he wasn't once a board member, would he do that?
But he stated that they should be bipartisan. In as
like
much as I get your point. In as much as it's a political tactics, I feel like we should just be optimistic about it. So this is just the rebirth of the scandal. So let's wait and see what further investigations will have to say. And I feel like you are taking this thing too personal.
No, I'm not taking it personal, because we
all right. So
like this, and the issue is still the same.
Okay.
So you should understand where I'm coming from. They are all the same.
All right. Thank you so much for your submission.
You come and applaud me very soon.
Let's just be optimistic about it, and I feel that they just have the interest of the nation at heart. That is how I see it. I'm just being objective, So all right, let's move on to our next news headline. Government cancels sale of diplomatic properties in Nigeria, Zambia. The government has announced the cancellation of two controversial transactions initiated by the previous Akufo-Addo administration to sell Ghanaian diplomatic properties in Nigeria and Zambia. The decision, backed by President Mahama, was revealed by Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa during a parliamentary session. In a statement shared on his official Facebook page on Saturday, March 29th, Minister Ablakwa emphasized the government's commitment to safeguarding Ghana's diplomatic assets. The minister disclosed that efforts are underway to recover an illegal part payment made in one of the transactions. He assured the public that the masterminds behind the scheme, who are currently on the run, would be located and sanctioned. Minister Ablakwa also issued a stern warning stating that none of Ghana's diplomatic properties within or across its 71 diplomatic missions abroad are available for sales. So here are some key highlights of the story. The government under President Mahama has cancelled two controversial deals initiated by the previous Akufo-Addo administration to sell government diplomatic properties in Nigeria and then in Zambia. So Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa emphasized the government's dedication to preserving Ghana's diplomatic properties both locally and across its 71 missions abroad. Efforts are underway to retrieve an illegal part payment made in one of the transactions, signaling a focus on accountability. And then he says efforts are underway to retrieve an illegal part payment made in one of the transactions. He issues a strong warning that no diplomatic properties belonging to Ghana would be sold under the current administration. So someone may ask that what is the diplomatic properties? So diplomatic properties refers to buildings, lands, or other assets owned by a country's government and used for its diplomatic missions abroad. So an example can be the Ghanaian embassies we have in different countries. This is so disheartening. The previous government crowd, what do they want? Diplomatic properties that belong to the state, and then you want to sell them.
For what cause?
For what?
Exactly.
Like, what are you looking for in this world? How do you feel about that?
Should we arrest
Everybody.
Very sad.
We need to
Because
arrest Nana.
these are actually
Very, very
properties
sad.
that belong to the state,
It tells you how
and then you
wicked
want to
they are.
sell them.
They are deep rooted in this corruption, and it will be very hard for them to be uprooted.
But you see, let's
Wow.
do away with politics and face the fact the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government has really caused a huge mess in this country. I was even thinking, if we are not being sold, if Ghana is not being sold, then maybe we are just moving about, but we are being sold.
We are already being sold, though.
How can a property
That belongs to the
belongs to
state,
Ghana in our neighboring countries being sold?
and even a part payment has actually been made.
And you see,
And who did
when,
that money go to?
Like,
Exactly.
people don't have conscience, honestly.
when I saw this, a lot of questions keeps popping in my mind. So I asked, why are they selling those properties that belong to the state, like Ghana as a whole? Who are they selling it to, and what is their motive behind that? And I guess these properties, are they not generating revenue for the state?
I feel
In a way.
Yeah, in a
It's
way. These are
generating
embassies.
revenue. Exactly,
Yeah.
it generates revenue for the state. So who is the mediator? Because I'm not sure former President Akufo-Addo will go there. There have to be a mediator that stands in for him
He has a vice.
to transact all those stuffs. So who is that mediator? And those people needs to be arrested. And you see, I commend Okujeto Ablakwa. He's really doing a great work.
Well,
But-
he's part of the oral committee,
Yes,
so
but
definitely.
it's not complete if these people behind this act are not being arrested and prosecuted. We should not only be interested in bringing out the issue and maybe arresting the people and letting it go just like that, because this is something that belongs to the state. Why will you sell it if not for wickedness and full of evil and just why will you sell a state property?
Wow. So
Why would you do that?
assuming these issues are not brought to light,
No.
If
If
you go to that particular country and then they tell you that, oh, the embassy has actually been sold.
if they should have,
How would you
if they
feel?
should have won this election, we wouldn't have known about this.
I'm sure they would have sold us.
they would correct
It's not they would. They have already sold that.
being sold, because looking at the kind of money Ghana, and you know it's not only Ghana, every individual has a debt to pay, even though it's Sikani and DBO, but we all have a debt to pay as
And
individuals.
you cannot finish paying it. I think generations to come will still.
Well,
will still have
I
to
feel
pay.
that this whole corruption thing begins from our society, because I believe that if you are doing it sope in your society, that is how it's going to escalate or aggravate into something big, and then you take it to the high level. So I think it boils down to our homes. That has to do with our society and then our communities.
This
Be your
is,
brand.
this is leadership by example, my sister.
So definitely they were doing
by
it maybe
example.
at the local level. Now right now they are doing it at high tech.
No. Do you know how these people see this? It's like you being in power and then me behind the
Because
scene.
they are
Know that
actually
I'm
doing
working
this
from the
fearlessly.
state. Immediately I get the power, I also try my possible best to milk the little I can, without thinking about the ordinary Ghanaian. And this is very bad. A property belonging to the state, not your personal property, and you want to sell it out for what exactly? So it means the money, you've been squandering from the state for that long is not satisfying enough to the extent that you want to sell properties that belongs to us in neighboring countries. And I'm not surprised, because I feel like we the individuals are already being sold, and the country is being sold. Why? Because you even see nationals like these Chinese and Indians getting access to this country so easily, and they even get access to places an ordinary Ghanaian wouldn't even access. and they end up doing things illegally, and then at the end of the day they are allowed to go scot-free. If this country is not being sold, can they actually get access like that? And trust me, no Ghanaian can go to China or India and then you go and fool and then you'll be allowed to go scot-free. No. And I feel like it's because sometimes we owe them. And when you owe someone, what the person will tell you is what you will do. You are no longer like on yourself any longer. And we don't know the contract that our government has signed with their government.
So my question is, where does this corruption actually stem from? Where does it come from? Like the source? Because I feel like even before you even know how to steal, it starts from the house. You will be stealing small, then you take it outside.
Yeah.
So I feel like they've been doing this thing for a long time, even at the local level, for them to even get to the big stage.
Yeah, and I understand.
You now get me, right?
Yeah. Charity, they say, begins
at home. And if you avoid to be your brother's keeper, say I never.
Yeah. And I also think influence, because they say how is it said? As it corrupts, no, bad morals corrupt good manners.
Good manners.
Okay?
Yeah.
So what if that person is coming from a good background, involve himself or herself in politics, but it's not greedy, it's not corrupt, but get to meet someone who is corrupt. You know the influence. The influence is also part of it. Maybe Sister Debbie.
Oh yeah,
Debbie is corrupt.
I bet.
Because the person is because the person is doing it, and you're also seeing it.
You also
so
be
why
tempted.
Not? And
with that, it comes with juicy offers.
Oh yes,
you will be tempted.
Cover up for me.
Exactly.
Cover up for me. I'm going to offer you this. And I feel like we have actually normalized corruption.
Exactly.
We feel as if it's actually something normal. Oh, there's actually nothing wrong with it. It is
corruption. There will be.
It's normal because our laws are not working.
Exactly.
Imagine there's a death penalty. You see, this arrest issue, and they'll even
be in the prison, and will even be.
Our laws
are actually working, but they are not in favor for the poor. But for the rich, it goes in favor for them.
So it is not working.
It
is not working. But if it is working, it should work for all.
Exactly.
So far as it's in favor of one person, it means it's actually not working. And the same people are the people who drafted these laws. And so they draft it in a way that favors them. You see, so corruption has become normal, as you say, because our laws are not working. And you see, power as it is comes with a whole lot. Let's appoint you as the deputy whatever, or maybe the vice president.
Okay.
Getting that power. You see, when you sit back, you can actually criticize them, but when you get there, and it's cut across the people that surrounds you, as she said, because these properties that are being sold, I earlier want to say that I'm not sure President Akufo-Addo will go there to sell these properties. It is an mediator, someone who is standing in for the president, who goes to, negotiate with the people to sell those properties. So if you don't get the right people to advise you, the Council of State, advise the president, right?
Yeah.
If you don't get good Council of State to, advise you on your steps to take and the things to do, you will end up messing up big time. Sitting at the top, you feel like you are doing it, and trust me, they might not even bring you the right report. This is what we are doing. This is what we are left behind. You see, the day we went for the report at Abokobi, the guy was saying that they've allocated money for them to do the work. And what are they using the money for? To the extent that they are selling the sand that has to be used in doing the work. And you see, the person who is the supervisor or whatever in charge of this work can go back to the president and be like, we've done it, we've done half of it, it's completed, and bring you a fake picture or anything. And because you sit in a V8, and because you also don't like to talk and go into places to know what is going on, like what Abraham Traore is doing, this is how we are going to end. and someone who sits in VA does not feel the pothole you have been feeling. It's just like you being in. Have you been in a V8 before?
Yes.
Edo.
Yeah, very nice.
So someone in a V8 and someone in a chocho, prokoto, you crying out, they don't feel your pain.
All right. So how do you think these properties can actually be recovered? Because, you know, part payments have actually been made already.
So that's the way for it. Part payments have already been made, and according to the Foreign Affairs Minister, they are going to refund them back. Or is that the right word? They are going to refund them back with the money that they've paid. So these are the ways to retrieve it. And as they are refunding them back, those people that the land has been sold, it's just like similar to this missing container thing. So as they refund the money back to them, and then they receive maybe the documents or whatever that has been given to them, which is maybe a sign or a signal to detect that this property have been sold. They retrieve all that, and then they make sure that those people mentioned to them who the mediator was, who sold the land to them, they should arrest.
On to our last headline. Appeal Court judge slams weak enforcement of Land Act as land disputes dominate court cases. Ghana's land disputes are worsening out of control, with over 70% of court cases tied to land litigation. Yet the Land Act 2020 at 1036 appears to be making little impact. Justice Alexander Osei-Tutu, a judge at the Court of Appeal, has strongly questioned the effectiveness of the law, citing poor enforcement and lack of public awareness as major obstacles to solving the crisis. Justice Osei-Tutu expressed disappointment over the government's inability to implement key provisions of the Act, particularly its ban on land guard activities. Justice Osei-Tutu also blamed Ghana's chaotic land system on multiple land ownership claims and the government's flawed land disposal practices. So do you know of any act guarding our land litigation in this country?
I think they've stated it in the
Land.
But is it being
Act
enforced?
2020.
Yeah.
It says being enforced, but you know Ghanaians in kwanche aditoi ayeye de. There's no way I would use my hard-earned money to go and purchase a land from a land guard. I would rather go to this estate developers. These people deal with documents. Once you secure a land or once you buy a land from them, they would give you a document making sure that this document is yours, this land is yours. You know, my mom is a victim of this. She bought a land at they call somewhere Kaswa. They said Tomefa or whatever. There, she bought a land there. The next day, they said the land is not for her.
Wow.
It took by the grace of God before we were able to obtain that land. So buying a land from Landguard, it's not good.
So I think it's high time our land laws or our land litigation rules or the act is being properly enforced. And this is where we draw the curtains for our news headline review. Up next we have Debbie's Grill.
Welcome to the holiday edition of the Biz Grill, where we grill, toast, and drain the truth that matters and concerns to the state. Now let's move straight to the point. Vice President rushed to hospital after sudden illness. She will be seeking further care abroad. So this is actually an info coming from the presidency that our Vice President, Prof. Nana Jane Opoku Achimai, is not feeling well, and he has been sent abroad overseas to receive care and treatment. We wish her a speedy recovery, but this is what I want to say. Why is she being sent overseas to receive health care? Is our health care system not properly working in this country? You and I know that that's true, because our healthcare system in this country is very, very poor. Very, very poor. And you see, we allocate funds and we invest our resources into things that do not really matter. Whilst we are, shifting our attention from things that really matters to the state. You see, the hospitals in the overseas countries, they don't perform magic. They are not magicians. The truth is that their healthcare system is working properly. Their healthcare system there is being equipped with the necessary equipment to deliver quality healthcare. But that is not the case in the country. When it comes to our healthcare infrastructure, very poor. We do not even provide the necessary equipment to this system to function properly. We don't do it. And so I believe if our healthcare system is properly working, she won't be sent out. And this is where we want the current government to take note and do the needful. There is a lot to do. There is a lot to do when it comes to our healthcare in this country. So what if the ordinary Ghanaian is suffering from this illness that the vice president was going through and he has to be sent overseas? Would that ordinary Ghanaian also be sent abroad for further treatment? And you see, we don't really invest into our healthcare system. So the rich, I would say the rich will always go out, to get the best from those countries. But what of the majority, the ordinary Ghanaian, the commoner in this country, who do not even have the means of acquiring a passport, not to even say of going abroad to receive a health care? What of that? Do we really think about that as well? No, we don't. And you see, she being transported or wherever to abroad for treatment is at the expense of the taxpayer. Let's be sincere here. And this is what I'm saying. Let's work on what we have here. Will it be bad if people from abroad also come to this country to receive, treatment? Our practitioners, are they not good enough? Yes, they are. But they are lacking something. Go to our healthcare system. Go to the hospitals we have here. You go to the hospital, they'll tell you there is no bed. And the patient has to sleep on the floor to receive treatment. You go to a hospital where they are supposed to, inject you. They will tell you they are short of, drugs or whatever it is. And they will have to send you to a different hospital. And trust me, sometimes by the time they will get to where they are supposed to send you, either the person dies on the way, or they get there and then that hospital has to also complain that they have to transfer the person to another hospital. And this has been on the rise for some time now. But it feels as if we don't really care. We don't care. And you see, there was this incident where a patient was being sent, into the bush to sleep because there was no bed in the hospital. No bed for patients to sleep on. And we are happy. There is a lot to do. But as I said, she's being sent into abroad at the expense of your money and my money. Those in abroad or wherever, the USA, wherever you call it, they are not magicians. It's because their system are working. Let's make our system work. Let's invest into our health system. Let's invest into it. Even if it has to take, a whole lot, let's do it. Because as we are going there, it is the state money, right? But when they come here, we will also save money. But when we refuse to listen, it will continue to rise. And it's very bad. Very, very bad. So the current government, you have a lot to do. Minister for Health, Honorable Menta Akando, you have a lot to do. Please work on this for us because it's very important. Very, very important. What if I don't have the money for them to operate on me? It means I have to travel abroad. And then someone has to go at the expense of my money. And if you feel like we don't want to work on this, it's up to us. Thank you for making time with me on Debbie's Girl.
Okay, so this is the holiday edition of Today in History, and did you know, live on GhanaTalks breakfast show, where we bring you some fascinating facts and today in history. So on 31st of 1917, the US took formal possession of the Danish West Indies. The islands went back and forth between Spanish and French rule. Danish settlers arrived and began growing sugarcane using convicted criminals, and after 1678, African slaves for labor. In 1960, following the Sharpeville massacre, where police opened fire on peaceful protesters, killing 69 people, the South African government declared the state of emergency, banned the African National Congress and Pan-Africanist Congress, and detained hundreds of anti-apartheid activists. In 1942, following a period of Allied advances, German and Italian forces, under the command of Erwin Rommel, launched a counter-offensive in North Africa, pushing back the British to Gazala and capturing Tobruk before being stopped at the First Battle of El Alamein. Pio Gama Pinto, born 31st of March 1927 and died 24th February 1965, was a Kenyan journalist, politician, and freedom fighter. He was a socialist leader who was key in Kenya's struggle for independence. He was assassinated in 1965, leading many to consider him independent Kenya's first political martyr. Moving to some did you know for today. Did you know that déjà vu, meaning already seen in French, is the feeling of having experienced a current situation before, and about 2/3 of people report experiencing it at the same point. While the exact cause is unknown, it's often linked to memory processing and brain function, potentially involving a misfire or glitch in memory retrieval. So déjà vu is an everyday occurrence. Did you know that a sneeze can travel at speed of up to 100 miles per hour, dispersing around 100,000 germs into the air? Did you also know that yawning is contagious? Seeing, hearing about, or even thinking about someone yawning can trigger the urge to yawn in others, a phenomenon linked to empathy and social mirroring. Did you also know that the earthy, pleasant scent associated with rain is known as petrocol? It is a combination of plant oils, bacteria, Bacteria produce compounds and ozone and was first named by Australian scientists in the 1960s. And it is called petrochol. Lastly, did you know that ear wax is a natural substance that not only traps dust and debris, but also possesses antibacterial properties, acting as a protective barrier for the ear canal? This is where I end today in history. And did you know, live on Ghana Talks Breakfast. So join me same time tomorrow for some fascinating facts.
Thank you so much, Miss Regina Bless. I think this is where we draw the curtains for the first segment of the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with Ghana Talks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
Ghana Talks Radio, UK, Abrochimemu, era from Ghana Muha at the sound system, which is spinning machine papa, a free amana never be good among Ghana Muha. It is a year, engagement, we wedding, we birthday party. Political parties are more rally, some way more crusade. So we'll book carnival or any kind of event. Now we'll pay spinning machine papa a boss sound in the moon at the dia and you may come for GTR sounds at the MAO. Your live band in so our tones at the frame, ye beat me abababua. Ama ujumedia woody and so at me I come up. Ya wa enkan pupuni mantemo anya aponchi hotel a hope pepe ena yebutu odi ane se wo be frɛ mpanifo ɛwɔ 0546960510 GTR sounds emu wode angaza.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi keshito.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Ghana Talks Radio, #1. GhanaTalks Radio, the best station rocking the nation. GhanaTalks Radio, number 1.
Hello everyone, we are back again. As we know, today is a holiday and today is the holiday edition of the GhanaTalks breakfast show, and I'm here with my lovely ladies again to discuss on a particular disturbing issue. It's actually an issue that has been in the news for quite some time now, but we feel like critical attention hasn't been paid to this issue, so we would like to hit on that again before we come in with our guests for the second segment of the GhanaTalks breakfast show. All right, are you ready?
We are ready.
So let me read it again. I think we've already read it, but we didn't get enough time to deliberate on it or dissect it. So let me read that again. Appeal Court judge slams weak enforcement of law acts as land disputes dominate court cases. Ghana's land disputes are worsening out of control, with over 70% of court cases tied to land litigation. Yet, the Land Act 2020, which is at 1036, appears to be making little impact. Justice Alexander Osetutu, a judge at the Court of Appeal, has strongly questioned the effectiveness of the law, citing poor enforcement and lack of public awareness as major obstacles to solving the crisis. Justice Osetutu expressed disappointment over the government's inability to implement key provisions of the Act, particularly its ban on land guard activities. Justice Osetutu also blamed Ghana's chaotic land system on multiple land ownership claims and the government's flawed land disposal practices. He also pointed out that one piece of land is often sold to several buyers, leading to endless legal battles. So over 70% of court cases in Ghana are tied to land litigation, highlighting the severity of the issue. Do you agree with that? That 70% of our court cases in Ghana are actually tied to land litigation. Because normally when you go to, especially when you go to the High Court, I think, which is at Accra, when you go there, land cases every day there's a sitting for land cases. And I think I agree with him when he says that 70% of court cases are actually tied to land litigation, and that should tell us that it's actually getting out of hand, and it's a severe issue that needs critical attention. What do you make of it?
Since I was born, I've always been hearing of land guard. People are being killed. People are being murdered.
Wounded,
people are dying,
injured because
of a piece of land. And I feel the first step these people need to take, I know there's a rule for that. Is it Land Act 2020?
Yeah, 2020 1036.
They are not implementing it. They are not.
It's not even enforced.
Use of it. And secondly, land guards. These people should be orchestrated or banned? These people should be banned out of the system. These land guards people are dangerous.
Very, very dangerous.
They are even the ones killing people over. They'll come and sell a land to you. They sell it to another person. They sell it to one piece of land.
Different owners.
Sabi. As I say, bako owners bebre. And we even though we are all humans, we all do not come from the same background. And might be from a Christian background. Someone might be from a traditional background. Another person might be from occult background. You sell a land to me, ebi ame jemu. One person on jemu, baby also do febia or do befa. obi wo ha na adwe no sebio ebom ebeka asase no wo de no wa twen krantan no de twifom no de twaw. With this land guard issue, it is getting out of hand. Even with your own land, you have a document securing this land. You go on the land, then they are threatening you. Is the land yours? I don't know why mobeko in kwanchen se mokoto asase. Once they have, even though the estates are expensive, but we have estate people who provide land. There's an English word for that name, but I've forgotten. These people provide good land to individuals to the extent of making sure that all documents are being provided. You don't want to pay the cost of a good land. That is why you go to land guards. Every day you have a problem with it. So when you go to the estate land, you have to pay for the price of going to that estate because it's expensive and it is, I've forgotten this name, litigation free. Manson daso, Shane daso.
And no corner manso daso thing will be idea.
Estate lands, manson daso. Because the wouldn't maybe omude do obi that and say you don't go to the right source. But when you go to an estate, you buy a land there. They don't sell the land multiple of time to other people.
Miss Demi.
I was looking at you. This issue is a very serious one, and I feel like the public is not properly educated on land right and dispute, how to avoid this land dispute and conflict. There should be a thorough or a proper education for the public, so that you know your right, what you are supposed to do before you acquire a land. The signs you will see in someone who is a scammer. Someone can actually come to you that I sell this land and he's not the owner.
Yeah, true.
So I think there should be a proper education so that if you're going to secure or buy a land and the person is a scammer, you can easily detect that this person is a scammer. And I also feel like, they should make the registration of this lands very easy. It should be very simple. Sometimes not a lot of people are able to register their land because it's very expensive, and people do not register their land, and then you see other people encroaching it or making their way to that land, and you see it's very bad, and it has been normalized and common in Ghana that actually said a plot of land can be sold to 20 people, 50 people, and people actually die out of this. Because you've paid an amount worth maybe 50,000 or 2,000 or 5,000, and then the next day you go to the land, and then another person comes to tell you that the same land has been sold to me. And our chiefs, most especially, most of these lands are entrusted into the hands of these chiefs. He will tell you that I'm the chief of this Anya town, so all the land belongs to me. So most of the time you go to the chiefs, and then some of these chiefs who we believe that should be, you understand, enough, will sell this land to more than 10 people, and it feels like the law is not holding them responsible, so it has become so normalized. And then when they get to the court, and most of these chiefs also have connections with people's in the top places, and so they can sell the land to you. It goes to court, and then it doesn't get anywhere. So this is a serious issue that we need to take very seriously, because you cannot sell a land to me and that same land will be sold to you and then Regina. You see, and someone can actually kill you because of that piece of land.
That is
someone
simply
can actually
because
take
our
your
laws
life.
are not actually working.
That's what I said.
In as much as there's a rule or there's a regulation for this land litigation issue, it's not being enforced. And I think people need to be aware of this. like education
public
needs to be there,
education.
because I believe that if someone is actually aware that there's actually a rule or there's actually a regulation with regards to land litigation issue, and a land guard come to their land, they can fight for their rights. But here lies the case: we have normalized it, and then critical attention is not paid to this issue. So it's been normalized, and then we've given this land guard people the upper hand to do whatever they want to do.
And the one buying the land doesn't know what he's supposed to do to get that land, even if there are land guards or people there to, drive you away from the land. Like, it's like you are left helpless, and there is nothing you can do. So these people should know their right. Like, this land is for you. How am I supposed to protect the land? I mean, even if I've bought the land for someone who is, known even in Ghana, and then the person is selling that piece of land to another person, how am I to retrieve it? How am I supposed to stand for myself? Because this issue does not get anywhere. It doesn't, especially if the person who sells their land to you has a connection with someone up there. It's very difficult. So the best way, you also feel like the court wouldn't help you enough. So the best way to go is, you understand, you'll go to the other side, and that one works.
They go to the other
it
side.
Works faster. It works faster. People always say that when you pray to God takes a lot of time because He wants the person to repent. But that's our nanano and stars. They work easily, just like the way thunder strikes. Immediately back, then the person. So the law should work. It should work, and it's very 5,000 and that from how 5,000 can be a me and American, but I know lands are more expensive. Land is expensive more than that.
5,000 right now. When you have 5,000, you can't buy land.
And
now, the land is quite
estimation
expensive.
Wrong,
Yeah.
So just imagine saving your whole lifetime, saving, using it to acquire a land. And then that land has been sold to 3 or 5 people. I've seen people like this when they've like one anti-court once.
Yes. And at the end of the day, they leave
they keep adjourning it.
And just like that.
That's why I said if it is me, I'll pass the other way. It will work faster.
So what do you think can be done for these laws to work? Or
that's
for
what
these
I
laws
said.
to be
One,
enforced.
Education. We need to be educated. The one acquiring the land has to know what he or she is supposed to do, even if there is a case or an incident where the person wants to cheat you or give the land to a different person. You know how to stand your grounds, defend yourself, and get your land back. And then public education also makes you aware or broaden your knowledge to know that if someone comes to you telling you that I'm selling the land, 50% secured, I'm not going to sell it to a different person, you know that looking at the person and what the person is saying, he will sell the land to you and sell it to another 20 or 50 people. And then with our land registration, I feel like it should be made simple so that everyone at all can register their land, so that if someone is trying to take the land for you, have every details to show that, see, I've registered this land and it's for me. If you want to argue with me, then let's go to court. Then protection of customary land rights. So the Land Act should provide stronger protection of customary land rights, including the rights of communities to the ancestral lands, because some of this land is a generational inheritance. So when it's being protected by this customary land rights, it can help reduce conflict over the land and promote more equitable land governance. Then I think customary land dispute resolution institutions should also involve themselves into it. I'm sure it will help.
Miss Regina.
Okay, so first of all, as she said, is creating public awareness
and education.
A very essential step to take. And the second is improving transparency and accountability. So they need to implement measures to increase transparency in land transactions and hold officials who are involved in corruption or whatsoever accountable, because I come to you, I purchase a land, and you sell a land to me which has already been sold to individuals. You need to be held accountable. And lastly is addressing traditional and cultural factors. I feel that there's a need for them to see these traditional chiefs and all that.
The traditional leaders.
We know that these people are the ones who are not involved in corruption. I'm sorry about not involved in corruption, but they have upper hand in selling lands to people. And when they sell lands to people, I feel that the reason why these lands are being sold to multiple of people is when the land guards come in. And this land guards, that's the only livelihood they live on. So why not find another alternative of livelihood for them to deter them from engaging themselves in land guards and all that? Yeah. So I feel that.
Yeah, so I think I agree with what you said. With regards to the education, I think people need to be educated, and then awareness needs to be created with regards to the acts of the land litigation. Because I believe nobody, how many of you know? Me, I got to know that yesterday. So it's actually illegal for the land guard activities. It's actually illegal. And you can even go to the police station and report these cases for these people to be arrested. So if indeed there's actually a rule or a regulation that regulates these bodies, then why not for it to be enforced?
And why are the governments even not enforcing
even
it?
not enforcing it?
Because even they themselves, they are
even indulging themselves into it. So why would I even be
enforce something at the end of the day? Like
it will go against,
it will go against me.
Then there is no way I will do that. But it's very bad, and I can say 30% of Ghanaians have lost their life because of this issue.
Oh yes,
people
especially
get
in
high
areas
blood pressure just like that.
When you go to areas like Ablekuma, Mahia, those places, if you have a land there, the way land guard people would torment you, because it looks like anytime you go to the land and then you want to start work, that is when they also come, and then they want to take something, a land you have bought with your own money, with your sweat, and then you want to take something simply because I want to work on my land.
Where do they even get the uniform they'll be wearing? Most of them come in something like they come in.
It's because we have normalized it, so it has gotten to the extent. And so some of them even having weapons.
They've instilled fear. You tell longer than now you marshal. They've instilled fear into people, and that is also bad. Because it will even get to a point you have a document securing the land. Another person will come also having documents securing that
same land. So it means that particular land has actually been sold to multiple people.
Oh yes,
to different people.
And I think some time ago, similar thing happened. I think in Kaswa also. I stand to be corrected. Where
she has an experience.
A land was sold to a man and then to another person, and then when the person got, I think a chief or something took a gun to shoot the person because he says the land is for me. Why will you come on my land and stuff? And he has to be and up to now
we've not even heard anything about
case
that
closed.
Story. I have foolish case.
That case has been closed.
Wasted over a piece of land.
The person has actually gone scot-free with the deed they have involved themselves in. The person has actually gone scot-free.
And the chiefs also need to be educated. Chiefs also need to be educated because they are.
You think they'll listen?
They need to listen
because these are the people who actually feel as if they are above the law.
In as much as they need to be educated, they know the right thing. They are just not doing it. They are just not doing. They know the right thing. They feel like me selling the line to 50 people, say 5,000. At the end of the day, how much am I getting?
A lot.
So it's intentional. So we also need to be intentional to arrest these people and then make them face the law. But when they are intentional, we feel like because we are also benefiting from them, we'll keep quiet.
I feel like this is where rule of law need to come in. Equality before the law, irrespective of your position or whoever that you are. If you are caught and then you are found wanting, you should be able to face the beats you face the law because it's stated in our constitution, and the constitution is more or less like our manual as a country to govern us, our attitude, even at the workplaces and even in our environments or wherever we find ourselves. So if you are caught, if as long as it's stated in the constitution, if you are caught, you should face the beat.
You should face the beat.
You should face the
And
beat, irrespective of whoever you are.
Attitude of bribing, and you see, we know that corruption has been normalized, but like this incidents like this, I wouldn't be surprised if the person gets to the court and be like, use this to buy pure water. And looking at the envelope, how far
these cases are actually let
go
to
just
be gone
like that.
scot-free.
And you see, that's the main reason that we, the citizens, have lost trust in our judicial system, the court, and everything. That's what I'm saying. The ordinary Ghanaian will not go to court again. He will go to Nananum because Nananum will work faster than those in court. But when the laws are working, and this land guards or whatsoever they call themselves, who are very armed with uniform, are being arrested and then make to dance to their own beat, this thing wouldn't, like, it won't occur again. And it won't, I mean, as I said, it won't occur. Let me just take it like that. It won't occur again. But when it becomes so normal that today langas are seen on this land, they chase people away, they injure people, and then at the end of the day, nothing happens. It gives those people who illegally sells lands to 20 or 30, it gives them that moral confidence. I'll do it more to save more money. And you also die early because you one day meet your meter.
You definitely die early.
You will die early.
So I think these laws need to be enforced, and that will help us as a nation. All right, I think I'm gonna leave you ladies because we are gonna get ready for our second segment of the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. We will be right back.
GhanaTalks Radio, #1.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with Ghana Talks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries,
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare.
Regina Bless.
Deborah Adoso.
And I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
GhanaTalks Radio, #1.
morning, everyone, once again to the second segment of the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, right here on Ghana Talks Radio. You are welcome. All right, so I must say that I'm excited to introduce our guest speaker or our guest joining us today for our topic discussion. And he's in the person of Mr. Archer Bexon. This is actually an individual who has the interests of the nation at heart and is also a political analyst. And co-hosting with me today on our breakfast show is Madam Omari. Well, I know you might be confused. Hey, today what happened? Why is Essie hosting a show? And then why is Madam Omari there? Well, today happens to be a holiday, and this is the holiday edition of the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. So today you can call me Madam Omari, and when you see Omari, you can call him Esnam. Good morning to you, Mr. Archer Bexon.
Good morning, my beautiful Esnam.
How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah. God has been good to us all.
God has been good to us all. How has the weekend been so far?
Well, this weekend was a bit of a time because I had a funeral. I have to go bury my late stepdad over the weekend in Ekumfinakwa.
Oh, okay.
And thanks to PK and the team that were able to make time to join me in Nakwa. I'm most grateful. Ghana Talk GH. The entire team, very grateful and appreciative for your time around. I'm very much thankful.
Our condolences.
Yes, thank
so
you.
Sorry about your loss.
So it was funeral level and then back to Accra for God and country.
Oh, okay. That's good to hear. But I know today happens to be a holiday. What are your plans? Any anticipation, any program anywhere, any party?
For me, nothing much. First of all, let me say Barka the Salah to my
yes. I think you use this opportunity to worship.
Yeah. Barka the Salah. I'm just waiting for my good Muslim friends to call me. But they said this one, the Enam Samin Shadanim. So go to the rice
I learned this actually the level. Small one.
So I wait Abdul Latif and the other guys to call me. Then Charlie Zongo Janshi Madina.
Oh, you already have some people on standby. Wow,
some backup like that. So some backup like that. So maybe when their call comes, you know the next plan of action. But in between time, we are all celebrating the holiday together.
Oh, that's good to hear. I'm so excited to hear that. Madam Omari.
Yeah.
And I should call you sisters now, since today I'm sitting on your seat. What are your plans for the holiday?
Not much. I mean, I just want to sleep, rest. Like I need
sleep.
Yeah.
You mean you want to go the Adidas level?
The Adidas level. Like,
Didn't that?
That's me. I barely have time to rest.
Oh.
To sleep, so I was even praying to God that today I might get a call from manager that don't be coming.
Simply because you thought today I'll be in your shoes, so you not come.
Exactly.
No, you have to come. Come and give me moral support.
Very necessary.
Very necessary.
That's basically it. But then, happy Eid to our Muslim friends. I have a Muslim background, so yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
So I think it's due diligence to wish you Badikala Salah.
Yeah. I mean,
okay, so
even though I don't practice Islam, but I am, so they call me Mustafa.
Oh, nice.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Mustafa. Badikala Salah, Mustafa. Okay, so with the Muslim holidays, it has actually been extended by our president since he resumed office. What do you think about that? Do you think it was actually necessary to extend the holidays from your general perspective or opinion?
Well, thank you. Let me say a very good morning to all those of us on the table awaiting to be served this breakfast, your viewers and your cherished listeners. Let me say a very big good morning to all of them all. For me, holidays are statutory. They must come from the ambit of the law. So if at the end of the day the president of the day deem it fit that this and this and this is worth it, and that as a nation we need to celebrate and honor the said day. I see no problem.
You see no problem with it.
That is, but my little checks is that the more the holidays, the more government loses some level of revenue.
Oh.
So I think that going forward, they must all make sure that the whole thing is standardized. Other than that, Party A will come, will deem it appropriate that I just want to take this and this and this as holiday. Party B too will come and do this. But as a nation, if the end result is we tend to lose revenue because government doesn't go out there to take revenue on the said day and you lose it there, then it is good to honor the day, celebrate the day, but let's make sure that our monies too are well covered.
But then it's a good point you're raising, but then also aren't we being partial if we should raise concerns during this time that only the Muslims are being extended with a day, a day's addition? I mean, I even feel that it's still small. How many days do we give to the Christians for their holidays, Easter and Christmas? How many days do we give to them? But then the Muslims have always had just a day to celebrate. This time it's just 2 days, so a day's addition to it. I mean,
so Papa, that's why I said that ideally it is good, it's worth it, but at least when you have that level of uniformity, it will be beneficial to all of us. If the Muslim will go for 2 days, let the Christian too get same, because we have a beautiful country like Ghana whereby there's religious tolerance among all of us, both the Christians, the Hindu, just any religion that the law permits within, we coexist in peace. So then, and you say baby be out, sadden and media bedu and media short now with their work. Like, so let's work around it and then have the timing that will be cool for all of us. Because Muslims really enjoy that, and then the Christians do their own put their sabbatical holiday.
It's a long holiday.
Let's see how best as a nation.
But Beck, let me ask this: how many religions do we generally practice, like accepted to practice in Ghana?
Well, this is a question that I think the best person to help me with notes can be the Minister of Chieftaincy Affairs. But once he's not here, I also speak from the angle that I'm a bit preview. You know that Ghana is 3 religions that we have all come to know and it's being practiced the traditional way, the Islam and then the Christians.
Good.
And widely dominated, Ghana is more like a Christian dominated nation, followed by the Islam and then the tradition. But along the line too, we have these religions,
the atheists,
the Buddhists. You know, they all practice without any level of intimidation because the law permits it to an extent. So ideally, I believe that any religion that the law give room for it, that it operational will not dehumanize anybody, and it doesn't contradict whatever it is within the framework of our law, it should be practiced. It should be practiced.
The reason why I ask this question is we nationally we are celebrating Christians with their Christmas and Easter. Nationally we are celebrating Muslims with the other religions. What are we doing to them, especially the traditionalists? So if it's their time, then why don't government also step in? And
you see, thanks so much. You see, the point that PK has just made really strike my mind. It has struck my mind so quick. Look, first that they used to celebrate 6 March, the traditionalists will come and pour their libation. The Muslims will come, the Christians will come, and that will be the only arena you see them in national programs. Are you getting it? Why should that be? If we say we have given room for these 3 religions to be openly practiced, then what is good for the goose should it should also be good for the gander. So let's open up so that everybody can practice, and I will give fair timing for all of them
to celebrate them,
so that one doesn't get upper hand over the other, because we have all agreed that these are the religions that as a nation we have all come to accept and giving room for them to practice. So that quite to say traditional they will only come in when they could do sex match, then they'll come and pour libation, then their work is done. At least in national holidays or whatever, let's make fair room for them as well.
They should be
because we have chunk of Ghanaians who are also part of them. Are you getting it? So let's that free room be there so that Obiasu will be proud. Say Emrano accept you Obiana or ma Obiasu won't crime or practicing it there without any kind of discrimination, so to put it.
So it should be cut across all religious bodies.
It should.
All right.
It should.
Thank you so much.
Because the Christians and the Muslims are taking advantage than the other side. Yeah.
But why is Omari fighting so much for the traditional?
Omari has always been an advocate for the minority, so to put it. So he is only doing his advocacy job.
That's an indirect bash. All right, so this is what they have to say with the extension of holidays for the Muslim religious body. So moving on, let's dive into our main topics for today. So the first topic we have for discussion is Attorney General's openness on high-profile cases, commendable or controversial. So we were all here and we heard in the news how the Attorney General, which is Dr. Dominic Ayani, who has come out to give a report on the investigation the oral committee have actually conducted. And then there have been some critics here and there. People have actually commended him for his openness and then transparency on these high-profile cases, while other parties or other bodies are also criticizing him and saying that he's being politically motivated. Like the issue is being politically motivated. So I want to ask, what is your initial thoughts on the AG's openness on these high-profile cases?
Thank you, AC. I think as a nation that is always governed by laws, whatever we do must be within the remit of the law. And the AG is only doing his work as the law allows him to. You understand? And openness and transparency is a hallmark. Are you getting it? And I know that in the attempt of making things open for Ghanaians to know reality what has happened, you have others to come in all out to come and bash you. But it is good to make things open. Let them know that, hey, this and this and this is what happened in administration. And this is how far we have come as a nation. So this is it. The openness and the transparency always gives room, so that if at the end of the day, even if our tenure is over and we've left, Ghanaians were privy to what happened, what we came to witness. And this was how far we made a move around it as a nation or as an Attorney General. So Dr. Dominic Ayeni is only doing his work. And Ghana, as political as we can be in everything, still the other side too would think that, hey, why this? The criticism will come, the backlashings will come here and there. But once the truth will stand and transparency will become the order of the day in the operation, it is widely accepted, and that is the way to go. Because you shouldn't cover things. Let the Ghanaian know. Because remember that prior to the coming of the NDC into power, one of the key things that became the focus of their campaign was corruption. So if there is perceived corruption and now power has been given to you, bring things to bear. So can you see corruption? So Nagana phone say no man na obo hu de ru say ye ma otumi a obetu anamono oba no, you are making the move. But then you don't come and then you keep mute around it. Say Kobasa, then the impulse is because you needed power. O can be gun from keke just to win the sympathy of the people for them to give you power. So if NDC had ORA in mind and they came and they work, and now the Attorney General is throwing light on the work of the ORA, that is the way to go. So that said, we will get to know the work that the previous administration did, the good, the bad, the ugly.
But do you think that he was the right person to actually come and give this reports on these high-profile cases?
But remember that the ORA was never backed by law. They didn't have the teeth to bite. So whatever work they will do, the end result must be given to the Attorney General so that he will go to prosecute the matter.
Okay.
So for me, it is in the right ambit for him to have come out to speak, because the ORA doesn't have the locus, the prosecutor. They don't have the power to prosecute. But the Attorney General, Obia, what say or my nisika, and I said misappropriate state fund. He only to me so the Bokoko Jinambrano.
Okay.
So for me, it didn't fit for him to come and address us on the progress made so far by the ORA.
But why not the OSP?
Well, you know that in our laws, the OSP has a role to play. Likewise, the SHRAJ.
Okay.
And then same applies to the Attorney General. And I think the work that they do, it's more or less like a hand-to-hand kind of. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
A hand-to-hand kind of. So everybody has a role to play. And for me, once it became an ultimate priority of the government when coming to power, that look, we sense corruption, we sense that people have misappropriated state funds. It is only right for the Attorney General to come out with this, and I see nothing wrong with it, assuming it came from the special prosecutor Ejuma Bakona. And if the Attorney General has taken the bold decision around it, let's rally behind him.
Okay.
And you shouldn't come and sound as if it's a witch hunting, because if you're a witch, we must hunt for you.
Okay. But
Are you
then,
getting it?
there is this argument surrounding this whole Attorney General making things transparent as of now.
Yeah.
People feel that there are two sides of the coin.
Okay.
Integrities are at hand. People have built their lives, their integrities
Reputation.
over the years. Now you are only alleging, as of now, we haven't seen anyone being prosecuted yet. So, if maybe, and that's what people are saying, that if he had waited to get people prosecuted, then come out to say, yes, that is why we are prosecuting this person, blah, 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 then fine. Because for all we know, they are yet to stand before any court. And in Ghana, our law says that until a court finds you guilty, you are not yet guilty. So what if the court finds all these people not guilty? How is the AG going to turn around and whitewash them from the
bad name they already have?
They have been subjected to?
You see, PK, this is not the first time Masabi Yadin Crawford Kwakojina and Bread Mama innocent. It all operates within same ambit of the law. A person is proven guilty only by a competent court of jurisdiction. But in between that time, the person will only become a suspect. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
Into whether he will come and wash the person white later or whatever, the Mrano must take it due course. And remember that the work of the ORA still on my Nisikana and the financing on the Koya Sejma way now. So if at the end of the day they don't come out openly to let us know, say Sabi Sikani be at the Boama Mukoya investigation by Kuminu, outcome if him by any. Now we keep it to ourselves. The other side will come heavily on them. Come and waste state money. All in the name of ORA, because more person will go to Krubi to baby na Mose or my Nisikanti. But if you come that this has been the progress. So far, and the same crofo now call Jinam. At least they've been value for money to some extent. So for me, this is not the first time. But we take people to court, and at the end of the day, they become innocent. Whether it's a rejoinder to come and apologize or whatever, because once away when him say, "Oh, yeah, politics," and that's why a politician, you must have the thick skin for some of these things. It will come. It will come, especially. Yedu abesi akonya so say brabe somo man no. Are you getting it?
Okay.
All these things will come. Iti say okay say we when you're ready so we go through some of these ups and downs around it there. Then please go and sit in the comfort of your home and just monitor from afar. But don't come into the mainstream as a player. All these things are there. All these things are there. Even remember His Excellency the President, John Dramani Mahama, Oyi ni yem sum Ghana man we the Airbus scandal here and there was hitting him. Only for the same special prosecutor to come out to tell Ghanaians that look, the man is innocent. He has never done anything untoward. Are you getting it? So once you are stepping into the political arena, have that thick skin for some of these things, because small minor and resources will be given to you to work. So when people begins to come out that look, we are sensing this and that, you do seek clarity. When you are cleared, when I'm radical say, you did nothing untoward that, who will still go ahead say chin as I'm running nudie when the same law has cleared you? Are you getting it? So as a politician, avail yourself at any point in time. Then leave it and could do romance for because
so at the expense of their bad reputation or their integrity being tainted.
Oh, what I'm saying is that it is not deliberate to taint somebody's image. But at the end of the day, you've been given an office in GhanaTalks GH to come and operate. You have elapsed your 4 years and you've left. Now I've been called to come and take over. Me buy no books, it doesn't sit well with me. So I just ran to me penny Ademba and said, when Sinam took over and I came, the books and the things are not tallying. So I don't think we are in a banana republic. Inti yam fam branding share in semni near else me pese de no. Then let's give a fair hearing in the court. It doesn't mean that Sinam has done anything untoward. But so kodina branding na the ones that are not sitting well with me. Clarity is given on all those things. Tell me, who is going to push you that hard? Remember that we were in this country when Ghana at 50. The life of Reku Brobe was strongly came after that. Ghana at 50 no sikadie na asiphobia kwasho here and there. Reku Brobe through his lawyer have to go to court to go through the room and eko we echikwa na say onkwampo afa o Ghana bankrupt in the car. So they might do some reimbursement back to him again. That is the beauty of the law and the democracy that we are all practicing. So the fact that I'm not getting it right and I'm in TSC doesn't mean that me come for. Until you see court, you see Embrano, let's go through the process. When I had it wrong, the law will deal with me. When I got it right, but so say obini image and reputation t. And then they better that the perception they are to a man for so just to defame their name. But Sembrane clear will say he's cleared that. Forever he's cleared. Even to one tier simple, you can still have the right to go on appeal. For the same Embrane to sit on to say that look, he's still right in whatever he did. So for me, it is not deliberate as if say who go bidding when like who say obedient. Because what babesum no be take you over no until no be asia. Onu to me from Embrane shedding seven yen your pay. So the work of the Attorney General is to make sure that anybody that did anything untoward, you reverse the money back to the state. Then we make progress. I remember that it is not the Attorney General on the kind of say it's said and done. You go to the court and you go through the process.
But why not go to the courts before publicizing that these are the actions that these people have actually been involved in?
For me, I see nothing wrong with what the Attorney General is doing or has done. Because the Omansika Aqua sponsor Ura. So Ura inquire investigation in Famra. No more choir banana also the normal be bad but to just say when na akoso. And to Sanko for the Omukojina Mrenima. Bonnie Bena. When na akoso. And remember, a person is not guilty until proven by a competent court of jurisdiction. It is what count in the Pansuna and Marano, so what does the law also says? So let's go to the courts. Let's have a fair day at the court. Then you bring finality to all this. Because it can even be that the Attorney General is even exaggerating. He's just exaggerating things. By a court, and fair and square. That's why the aspect that PK was saying that in Sisabi, we will go to the anymore. Snaffy ever come now. Master, a politician. What I say? Yes, sir, we trim fire one. When say Juma Baby, who you yam from Ghana, my way you be the records are there. You did everything good and in order. Massa, you better you come out victorious. That is how it is. And this is not the first time politicians are going through court processes and court cases. We were here when the life of Opuni, and so they wanted to crucify them. But the same government to change, another one came, went through the merit of the case and thought, Charlie, the same way, it doesn't have merit, so Charlie will not pursue again. You understand? Okay. So that is it.
Madam.
I see nothing wrong with the work of the Attorney General. He's only doing his work. There should be transparency. Look, see, Ghana, it is about time politicians must know that when power is given to you to come and serve the people, you are not supposed to use the power to lord over them.
Okay.
Until I said the amount to me cry, even to some extent, watch man, who gate man in a yenny to a cow, or light don't know what I be, we bear the cost as a nation. From that little ticket that Kaya, no sweating, or we are quite a ticket man to be able to get money and come and save you. Yeah, bon, can you person obey diligent work? Until no money be away, Nasa buying sa near cook books now, it doesn't sit to I say to me, flow back. Said there be Essie. I will giving you this. Why did you understand? It's nothing bad. It's nothing. We use the state money to take care of you. And it's a what fish you are. Bibi audio mine sikaya. That's your boy actually. She says, "Oh yeah, no crime password." Me too. Na say menya adom the authority that be. Now amount to me kakra. Wapon ni to me be amount so fabra na besuma. That's all the babesum. But they say to me babel lord. Now you come to misappropriate the state fund. No matter the goodwill that the person give you, the same man can say, "As a baba show you must be away." I mean, I see nothing wrong. It is about time we must make sure that the work of every politician is brought to the light of day, so that perception that politicians are corrupt, politicians are thieves, politicians are that, it will make the politics attractive for even the younger one and women to even come in. Other than that, the perception will always hold that if you want to get money quick, enter politics. Because of you understand. But it shouldn't become an attractive venture for the ordinary Ghanaian or person who make his career quickly, then he jump in. Let there be decorum in that system.
Let there be decorum in that system. So, per the investigations that are going on so far with the high-profile cases, and we are in this country where it looks like the law actually favors just the rich.
You think so?
Is it the poor or the rich? The law actually favors just the rich people,
and then neglect the poor. Well, that one, I think ideally we must just, as a media house, maybe we can conduct investigation into that.
So do you think this is actually going to serve as a deterrent to other politicians as well, or government officials?
When you look into some of the reasons why things must go that way, to serve as a deterrent, because me and them about bet na ho na me ye me nyoma bia na me koye na so chena esiaba na we hu loophole e wo me dwuma mu. When they use you as a yardstick to measure my worker, na nyame ya manye ni no so we chi na o lazy ni boot na aban foforo bon to be new opportunity no want to be make sure so be nyoma right, so that one so to serve as a deterrent even in the way we do things.
Okay, but looking at this particular concern this is just raised, that the law favors the rich, let's take it from this angle. The courts work in a way that it's up to you who is being brought to them to make sure you submit your case reasonably to them. They are only going to judge. It's not about perception as madam a judge innocent. No, as how you are going to convince not just the judge but everyone there, the entire jurisdiction. So the law or the courts favoring the rich, I think sometimes it also comes from the angle of funding. We normally hear some of these issues where someone will just go and steal a goat and then they are being prosecuted, imprisoned and all that. If this person had enough money to get a good lawyer.
A good lawyer.
I don't think it could have gotten there.
Yeah.
But then also, where we should rather be looking at is the weight of punishment. Why should someone steal a goat and be sentenced for 20 years for a goat? I think that's where we should be looking at it. But then when it comes to the law favoring the rich, if the rich has the resource, because even if you are innocent, sometimes you need more money to make your investigations, to prove your innocence to the court. If you don't have that funds, it's going to be difficult for you. And so your opponent who has the resources to defend themselves is always going to lord over you.
Yeah.
Well, so for me, that is one leg of the argument. But let's also know that the same law, Emma coins at least your legal aid. So who needs campoa? They will be there. Even, we have some of these lawyers that pro bono.
Yeah.
Obedi assembling him for free. You'll be willing to.
And that's option.
What PK2 is saying, because when you have the money to be able to get a good lawyer, go through, because you see, he who alleges must prove. So in you proving beyond every reasonable doubt that you are innocent, sometimes you need money to be able to go into the substance of the matter, adduce all your evidences to make sure that indeed you are innocent. Now when you say can want to me and two son money be bribena, and I want to me and come here, you call any name na any ebuetiao. That's why the aspect that you were saying that so the law favor the rich, and then to the detriment of the poor. For me, it's yes and no, because say a man betias here, people would think that embrano krano nsheda nye adwuma nti sadia ene he na emfa mbrano nhye ensem. The law of karma, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Me ni adaje a me kokota because miniska a me ko pelo ya na makọ front and back around it. And then oyem na wanye mi na ma fa ichiro na me de akwa simple because me ni time I ever play gymnastics or court me ni sa huska no. But let's build it in a manner that people will still have faith and believe in the system. That the law will always advocate and work in favor of everybody, irrespective of your race, your color, whatever. That is what we should advocate, and that is what the law must seems to work. Other than that, always the poor will be oppressed because we know what it takes to go through. Because Oskanibi to say here we have brepan or asasi, and because on no sense canity or for say Jeffy Wilson, who is cabin to nothing. If you be actually no do assassin the Muscanini.
So in such instances, how do you think the court should work?
For the courts, it is evidently clear that the court always should work without fear or favor.
Okay. Let's not forget also that the court is just a court.
Yes.
Granting judgment. But this judgment is going to be based on submissions from both parties.
Yeah, the merit of the case.
Yeah. Exactly. So it could be say una we kunipa. We another case na say we ne kun baby amebei.
Yeah.
Say unya lawyer papa, a good defensive lawyer to make a case for you. You will be surprised that the case will go against the person who brought you to court. So in these instances where let's say the resources are there for me to get a very good defensive lawyer to defend me, even though I'm guilty, how should the courts or the laws be made to work in such instances?
But you see, I'm not a lawyer. Are you getting it? I'm not a lawyer, but along the line you listen to how they adduce on matters and stuff like that. You see, the rule of natural justice will always say that give people a fair hearing.
Okay.
So the last time I was citing something that watch here ebo PK watch o.
Yeah.
PK pie by na or say baby say we here to pie by no watch ni kura me. No him say no watch ni kura me amede koyo. But I'm only a suspect. Your court na me tumi ko twitwaje me ho yi a PK dia o. but major party.
Exactly.
But the same law too will tell you, the rule of natural justice will tell you that give people a fair hearing. And even though we are watching, I'm a fair hearing. Let me prove beyond reasonable doubt that the watch is for me and not for PK. You see how it is. This legal tussle here and there. Sometimes we need them. At least let's find time, get one of them in the studio over time, and then they will help us understand things better. Because say ama obia so akonya na anyewe a obia de mrabesha ni nsemu. We want ka PK be hu said watch ni kura me na sekan pepe wa finish me. E bia obekom no. PK de na afiato ba me so mo similar watch e na na ebo me no. Are you getting it? So we must adduce the merit of the case so that we quick to pass judgment on people. Na yebema nyoma famra kwan so. Into him say dey abrant we ono no wi aye pa o. Na so yeso onye kromfo. Fa na bra be gina mrani. Isn't that not interesting? It is, because it is the law that rules and nothing else. The rule of law. I say it is the law that rules and nothing else.
Nothing else.
So there will be an fatu mission in some in your pet. Because can I meet you? Then I buy me back so I say Bex and Croc next year they work as an MP. Monko chenem dana me de monko bonu tu kurana me. Are you getting it? So let us allow the law, which is always a safeguard to all of us, because when everything is broken down, it is the law that must always come to our refuge, and the aspect of the law will always come the good, the bad, and the ugly aspect of it.
But is that not going to cause we citizens to have mistrust in our judicial system?
For the mistrust that we've had for judicial system, no. It's
Because you and I have
it never started from today.
When high-profile cases have actually been reported, but these people are actually left to go scot-free.
So it is the law that is ruling.
So what can be done about it?
Nothing else. Well, what can be done about it? In the midst of whatever it is, I always say that it is better we build a democratic state than to build a banana republic.
Okay.
Are you getting it?
Yeah.
It is extremely better we build a democratic state than to build a banana republic. In Tubo say Mbrana idea idea Mbrana wo lacuna was shortfalls womb.
Okay.
So let's look at the shortfalls within the law, rectify them and make them stronger, so that and open a sense of hope. So that when we build it well, and then the aspect of it that have possibly outlived its purpose, let's do away with them. Let's build a stronger constitution, so that it will prevail in the work that we all expect from the same constitution. Because entirely. Then when we do that, we are gradually opening the floodgate for banana republic kind of, and we'll be in your pet. But at the same time, I remember that we use the law to interpret the law. Yet the same brana yet interpret it. And to say if there is an aspect within the law which has outlived its purpose, let's do away with it. And then re-engineer something good, stronger within, so that it will serve the purpose for it.
Alright. Mary, do you have anything to add up?
Do you think that it would be a good call for government itself to hire pro bono lawyers for the state?
For me, it wouldn't be bad. It wouldn't be bad, because I say Mrana Kaseyema will be a fair hearing. You will be an obenyeska. And to say, well, if you have putting measures in place, now you only be so as some tuna, a banwa fahoka, no to mean a fair day or quarter. I think that's the way to go. So that say BBC Nipano Subenya GDA confidence in the court system, not the court. Than say on the say because Sebi mini bininti. Because Sebi mini bininti mean person the court. But sa ban no measures are also between me lawyer or the fakani be the abuami. Na makonya fair hearing there. Then I'll go through the rudiment. Okay. I'll go through the rudiment and then make sure that the law is working.
Okay. All right.
Are you satisfied?
Oh yeah.
So per the investigations going on, with regards to the oral committee, what they are bringing to light with the high-profile cases. How satisfied are you?
For me, how satisfied am I? I wouldn't say I am 100% satisfied. I wouldn't say I am 50% satisfied.
Why?
They have only done their work. And for me, the end will justify the means. Some Kofuya, my bomb within a suspect allegation and then young for me now could
Yeah.
Nambrano new movie. Otherwise, people on the other side too would think that you are only witch hunting them. That's why court Nambrana in a Dinambrana establish the face of it that says we empower we are. It's worth it. So for me, I wouldn't be too early to grade or possibly give them mark. But say a court, yet me pushy assembly through the prosecute and I say the processes of law. That's why court to be any fair day in court, up and down here and there. Dear assembly, we say, oh, some we now and crown. There's nothing to it. Fine. Hey, some coffee abo or minor chrono. Let's retrieve the money. Let's see the assets. You understand? There, then it will arouse that strong confidence that it wasn't a political witch hunt, but really there was something untoward.
Yeah.
So let them have their fair day in court. But before I'll be quick to.
But in regards to justifying the oral committee being set up, how is it going to look in the face for oral if all these people they've handed over to the AG go scot-free?
I don't think they can all go scot-free. By you and I, we know normal control. PK.
It is unprofitable to me, bro.
And they brought all these people to lie, and then prosecution or nothing takes place.
I had 10 profile cases. Never you can say 2 crime, run put on behind bars or cry. It has achieved a purpose.
Okay.
Just 2 out of 10.
And I make in the unlikely event in I count.
Okay.
But we are alleging on things. He who alleges must prove. It's in the court, no. Me say what fire we, and my evidence is that what fire because of ABCD information at my disposal. So let's go have a fair day in court. And I'm telling you, as a journalist, you are privy to other information. Things that have happened. And so we learn to me now you think that even among their previous regime, na be bring po bomb pass on the opposition because of new maybe and any so that the next government will come and then deal with them.
It's all allegation.
So we get there, whether allegation or in reality, will be a fair day of court.
Will be a fair day of
court. It's any day. That is how it should be. So, and I don't think that they will all entirely come out. There be definitely things are
happening.
PK.
It can happen that everyone will go scot-free.
It be Ghana with day.
Oh yeah, for that one day.
It can happen
that is why my hopes are not really up with.
Your hope should be up because you see,
we've been here and then these people
and remember that you see a woman sometimes you want the result back and the same lawyers will come and tell you that the wheels of justice grind slowly. Intina ya nyoman be so tobo na wa hihye kakaka ba se 4 years there ye beto ye bo ento 4 years ni wie no o ma do mbegu bas no ye benya om do mbegu bas you put them behind bars. Me I'm telling you, if His Excellency John Dramani Mahama se won tumi mpo anya adwuma na nkrofo a misappropriate the state funds mpo otumi sisa omo na ofrize omo asset na na so kodem na se retrieve na won tumi ambu man mpo for me Benjamin Ochebekson, I'm satisfied.
Okay.
At least they'll be valued for money. That is it. They will be valued for money.
Okay.
So that will be any to me. You not come simply because you think Ghana is your bona fide. And Mrasuna better than 2 baby didi. Hey, do you know how we pay tax? You see when your pay slip comes, you see how the deduction operates. You believe it.
Especially when you go to the mall.
You see how it is. Once you are using the taxpayers' money just to grow the nation, every peso must count. Into be a or mine sika besha onsa or manager party or mining resources. Kotina hanakoye we could way in the name of a minor. Let do the work wholeheartedly and diligently because there should be value for money.
Okay, all right.
There should be value for money. This is still GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. To join the conversation, you can tune into our online platform. On X, it's at GhanaTalks Radio. Instagram, GhanaTalks Radio. On YouTube is also GhanaTalks Radio. Let's get interactive. Tune in and then send in your comments. So moving on to our next item. Should government investigate previous administration? Do you think it is actually necessary that if a new administration comes into power, is due diligence for them to investigate previous administration?
I see. Yes, in some money in Emma will be a D. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
Until me a woman, me a bomb, your mammy ding, your dimmy mammy. So do a chinebi, some cocoa din some money, and he say a coffee me papa, as a mimico. I'm going me one. You see, this is a pro and con of it. And with the pros, at least, when we do that, it gives room for accountability.
Yeah.
Okay, you must go after them because we need accountability based on a juma year over time. 4 years, yeah, they are man shown, 8 years in addition, sir. Yeah, new my resources, yeah, seeker, or money japade, both assets that were given to you to work. We are going through the books. Now you're making sure, say, accountability. How well was accountability when power was entrusted in your care? So at the end of the day, it is good. That is the pros. It is good that when we do that, when we come after them, there will be an accountability based on the when power was given to them. And in the same vein, it gives room for transparency. Oh, because on a pet power, and no pet to me, oh, almost discard perception, almost discard, almost say, oh, it is a 2 minute bar. Go into it. Let the transparency aspect prevail. Say, I'm some can say no more discard. The books no lie. The records are there. They inflated this figure, they did that and they did this. So the pros, one gives room for accountability. Two, it gives room for transparency. So that they will be transparent in the work of the previous government. You know, and there will be justice. Justice in the sense that yema obia kwan se obia bibi oye no woman akonya se ne obeye no uko nkrata won se we de wanye bibi boni bia. I said you are able to whitewash the person because now percept like whatever perception you had on the person obaye no unkrata no no odom ko gina court na na bibi ache so manye bibi boni bia. So that is justice to is prevailing.
Okay,
are you getting it? And then we have deterrence. So that ochine bia na tumi aba na ye no amde tumi na maye nti nia efo efi so mo ye no manye mi na ye twom abo so court here and there. A typical example is what Ora is doing today. No, some people who feel now also lazy ubuta fashion utrim says or chinabino akonya na bana so so ba betina wa say na ye di Ora baba hante one also ya on your my so that oba or chebi you don't bring ORS to come and see. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
So these are the pros, and then looking at the cons aspect of it, it can also mean like politicalization.
Yeah.
Sabi Mabai na Abaso.
Yeah.
Until Saudi actually in their time they did this to us, and now power has come. So we must also go back. Like let's have scores to settle. So that is the cons aspect of it. Are you getting it? Until and then you use the power to show you where power lies.
But then I mean, if it has no grounds, no basis, why should it be so? Because you are being hunted, as they say, because of some deeds that we all saw, or they think they saw you do, which wasn't in the appropriate way. So if they didn't do anything, you come to power just because you did something, you were hunted, you are still going after them because they did same to you, whilst they haven't really committed any crime. Sorry.
But PK, you know that one aspect of the whole game is that anytime politicians need power, look, they will go all out just to win power. because of politics obi ka say president Kufuor wi Ghana gold bar na adina opportunity bet no kopa say political talk. Are you getting it? Because when people need power, can be to resonate with us just for us to give them the power. It is at the end of the day, whether a woman or anymore wakatu from them, it has eaten in the minds of people to even help them go and make informed decisions when they get to the ballot box. Are you getting it? So politicians will say anything, everything just to win power. And it is a 2-minute bar. Or honor is up to you to authenticate. Say all kind of political talks. And I say it is the real deal. Are you getting it? Are you getting it? So, and then the other aspect too can mean witch hunting. And then when the 2-minute bar, into this 2 minutes, you are coming after us, even though you are in your shade. Into the same 2 minutes, what the barber witch hunting. And anyhow it is. So that's why we are looking at this. For me, I am elaborating this on 2 grounds. That is the pros and the cons.
The pros and the cons.
Are you getting it? Because to me aba nti me ye na me pe me awo suspect say ABCD wo ba me be hen krata mo anye ni tie I'm coming after you, so you are chanting me because one na to me about. Are you getting it? Yeah. And then we can also have that aspect which has to do with diversion of resources and the national division. Now with the diversion of resources, ABI say am on my misika say this is our direction. This is what we want to do, because I always say that Ghana your constitution, but when the politician is coming to power, he comes to power with manifesto. And so the manifesto, he wants to implement things in the manifesto, even to the latter. And yet to the latter, or person men no kojina simple so, or catch Ghana for say, me can say and blue tape, me can wait blue tape, me can wait blue tape, me. Anti say ankoye sa, anase akobane sa, no money be your kind, ohia sika. And now here resources at the eye. And it said previous administration, I need to come after them so that they will bring me what they are supposed to bring. Now me to me they are me catch the Ghanaians. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
So this is the aspect. So for me, we should not always conclude on the ground that we are too aberry and so we are now going after them. Let's go and we chant them. Of course, if we are wait, we must hunt you. But let's look at that aspect, so. As I say, we say, we chant here and there, no. Sometimes it is worth it because accountability, transparency must all operate. Over time, when you man now let us be clear in our minds that when Sinam was given the mandate, she served and served diligently. She didn't take anything from government coffers. Because Ghana, a whole speaker be Eduan and Okono. Or say man, even including mango Diana Nesifio. He wanted to take the mango tree. So if transparency and all these things are happening over time, it gives room that abeyance just simply because we want to go and wait out. But your person no ma didana queen. So for me, it is good. And these things, AC is not going to change today, it's not going to change tomorrow. The very thing that MPP is thinking and this is in power, so today they are doing the almost bad, they'll come and do the same. They will apply these pros and cons that I'm saying.
But wouldn't it be in the good interest of the entire country itself? I mean, these two major political parties holding each other accountable.
Yes, it is. So you see, so let's look at, in the midst of all this, we should have best practices around. And the best practice, let's look at the independence of the things we do. Because too many films, sir. You are bound to make sure send no Ghana until and your political party. Let's understand it from that angle.
Okay.
Yes, some of mine and some political party.
Okay.
Are you getting it?
Yeah.
Because Ghana existed before this elephant and umbrella people came in. And now they started Shomuchi. There existed Ghana. So whatever we do, it must be to the interest of Ghana as a nation. Ghana. Are you getting it? So that independence must be there. Transparency. And so there will be any BB and there will be transparent. Because NPP, send this in himself, to me, John Dramani Mahama, and I had to me, Namana Obuma, he will be doing things right. Make sure that his appointees and everybody will be checked on track, do things right. Because so Chinebi, to me, Fee and Sunny Kofia, we will start inviting you one after the other to come and give an account of your stewardship. How well did you serve? Did you serve diligently? Did you serve transparently for Ghana as a nation? Because we in here, they be amba within home. But 1 year, too many fees and sir, the other side will come after you. The other side will come after you. So it is always prudent and proper that any time government will come to power, you, the opposition, you have a role to play because it's a learning curve whilst you are sitting behind to learn and get it right, so that when you come, the mistake that they are committing, you don't come and repeat same. Because when the whistle is blown and the football game is finally brought to a closure, players no more na mo come ofie. Una ye feel say oh boy abroad park no, you to be ba ofie dey answer be keka. Because only ending the year. Are you getting it? So what it is that even though you might be in opposition, you must sit in wide open eyes and make sure that you are monitoring and watching how things are done. Because when the power changes and the next phase comes in, those people that we are monitoring that we think they never did things right, we must come after them. The same way when the table turns, they'll come after you too. But when the table turns in any shape or form and you work diligently, heart out, and Mother Ghana, you never milk Mother Ghana. One Ghana and Blidia, we don't have any issue with you. Because we are building a nation. We are not building a political party.
Okay. So would you agree that when these people are actually caught in a bad act, they should be dealt with individually, not simply because they are affiliated to the opposition?
Yes, individually. You see, that is why I am always of the view that when they begin to come after those people, and then you see party people following them to court here and there, I'm like, so you people, are you normal? Are you okay? Say nipa no aye bibi na embra no ya we say I stand with you, I lie with you, I squat with you. That nonsense, the grassroots shouldn't be condoning that kind of nonsense. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
It is a nipa no ye juma ye no ehun banyama jano no go through the process. But somewhere say na say mo ma de na it say a political kind of because your opposition now you are coming after us. Masa, now nipa no nim ne waye. Whether he did it wrong or he did it right, leave him. Face it. Oko na se no so mpa, it even bring credit to your party.
Yeah.
But some be political correlation, mo be no elephant atade na echi be kom na no ye no was on towarda. Indirectly you are giving the floating voter the zeal to believe that sa party we no there omonye o. Akron for but it shouldn't be deal with the person individual.
Okay.
Because he came as an individual to come and join the party. It is only a bad matter. Quickly expose him. You know, so that let's protect the sanctity of the party. Are you getting it? Yeah. Let's protect both in NDC and MPP. You must protect the sanctity of your party so that the bad nut, you leave them for the Lord to deal with them.
All right, PK. Do you have something to say?
No,
okay, so this takes me back to the story of Afenyo Makin saying that they should avoid politicizing the ECG missing containers scandal. So here he came out to say that he's proposing to give his efforts or genuine support to Abdullahi Jinapor. Okay. Do you see it as a political gimmick or more or less like a tactics?
Master, the revered, respected minority leader, no? What ECG board so that?
Yes.
It is gimmicks, rhetoric.
Because he's saying that if the person is caught, they should deal with the person independently, and they should avoid political interference.
So good. I'll side with him on this.
You don't see it as a political gimmick or tactics?
You see, Kasa Frama, and he personally, he was a board member of ECG.
Yes, he was.
It's whether let's deal with them individual, anything untoward, no, let's bring it to light.
Okay, but that also brings me to this question. You've been the board chairman of the ECG. You stood in parliament, cited that there are people at the customs who connive with other people, with other officials, to make corrupt deals at the ECG. As a board chairman, what did you do about it?
What did you do?
and that will always bring to bear the double standard of politicians.
And today that another party, another person is taking a stand to fight these things.
Yeah.
After you left power, now you are saying
You are proposing that
you are proposing
you
how
are going
it
to
should
give
be dealt with.
Yeah.
You see, politicians, they are very interesting. Look, let me tell you, I'm not diverting, but quickly, you know, Honorable Okujato made a profound statement some time ago that there should deliberately be law banning government appointees from seeking medical care outside.
Yeah.
So in the nutshell, it was a good call.
Yeah.
Saying at least let's put structures and systems in place so that more yare amount of better yare. And then be also a cabinet way. Will he still stand by whatever he said in that time past? Are you getting it? They will shift the goalpost at every point in time when it suits and favors them. So for me, fine, Afenyo is making a brilliant submission here and there. But you see, it doesn't negate the fact that you deal with the individual. Do that. The political calculation is getting too much. Inti Ghana han obi apen boni edipe no akoshe osuna de. Obi apen boni edipe no akoshe chimia tade. It shouldn't be. Deal with the individuals as it is.
Okay.
Like I said earlier, there should be sanctity. Both NDC and PP, they need to sanitize their system as party. So that the bad nuts na no deal with them like individually or call no so now because we are building a nation, we are not building a political party. I on my own because remember that both NDC and PP they groom, rehearse, do things. We are football pitch on my boss we are Ghana. Are you getting it? Okay. So whatever Fenyo is saying, fine, but it doesn't change the fact that when you are equally a board chairman or whatever, you have this kind of you
didn't bring this.
Were you able to bring finality to it? Look, politicians and double standard. They are depending on the point in time, they will shake the goalpost just to see their whims and caprices.
This call of we should deal with them individually and all that. Have we also looked at it this way? The person who came to serve came under the auspices of a particular political party.
Okay.
If the person did well, who is taking the credit?
The party takes the credit.
Yeah.
So if he did bad, why should we negate the party from the consequence?
Here, your secondary school, you said the doctrine of collective responsibility. Okay. Ubia will rule also play. Intina say when the glory comes, we take it. When the shame comes, we take it. But remember that and intina collective responsibility no say ubia ni de asha ne san you yem na ye. It's a de asha on san you yem na ye ni year so that when the praise comes collectively we share. When the shame comes so at the boy na. Are you getting it? And the fact say obeye na edian nguase beba na opese eno na eba na be tagen. Remember that as a political party, what is the main focus of every political party is to win political power.
Yeah.
And to win no ma bia wanye ni ye no say do oni yiwa mana nko a perception you hold strongly. We wouldn't have any chance going to any next election.
So if that is the case, isn't it in the best interest for the political party rather to hold their people responsible or accountable?
If you be a mensa woman, PK, and papa at every point in time, memma position out there mo biano and now one feel say any bona fide. Reshuffle here and there. Sense of we na the normal suspicion na there. Just allow the law or your party but sanitize the system so that corruption doesn't become attractive for any of them. But say because I am DNT na your power let me shield the person. What shielding no but let me feel the next person doesn't want to shield him. Because a person then about opinion be able to say no, you are you getting it? Yeah. So the onus lies on the political party to make sure that their people do things right. so that enungwase ba ebekain praises ba bekain but your election to go and our main focus as a political party is to go and win political power. Nti no many be away no wan ye ni ye na ya magana for who say we anye ni ye it will come back to come and hunt us as a political party. And until let us give room until from time to time periodically change your people. Na ka de na football yam fast 11 na gina so say unema bukura gina throughout. We make room for reserve so that nya yet bench na if say no bi now the next in charge the fofraba now we share nyoma so that they be you are serving the will of the people, the good will of the people, and they will give you the mandate. Otherwise when they come now we jam say oh play oh be anya no pa, they will do things with impunity and you tend to suffer in the next election. The sankrofo ba ku mienu bi na collective responsibility no man fa nya adwuma no man nya nyoma ye no de ho asotwe ababa betwe ho aso when finally we are going for an election, they will come and punish you because you fail to put them in order. There's a changing no reshuffle must come. There's a way to look, test all your players, because nobody can become extremely perfect until you give the person to an opportunity to come and give what is in him or her. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
So politicians over time must deliberately have means to become a checks mechanism on their own people that they give appointment to.
But is that the case in our country?
Because
when they have avoided to be
because Abambi chairman Nanyoma be Koswa. For me, I was even beginning to feel say why these people they are position did they go to buy it? But at least there should be some reshuffle. There should be some changes. Some must go back home. Oh. And a holiday.
Oh, say it.
And then I just get to Munya Jumaka.
Madam, we best na say weekends now Casano are careful because weekends are for Friday. Just a Monday na when you tear did. But that's on a lighter side. You see, they shouldn't begin to feel that to me be omenye biano. We work our heart out to bring the power. So whether it is good or bad, it be we the power day on our side. So we want to use the power for. Look, they said power emanates from the people. It is the people that give you power. Sovereignty rests in the hands of the people. So they gave you the power to use the same power to come and serve them. Don't use the power to come and lord over them. So when they give you the power and you are using the power to lord over them, they will show you the exit when the time is due. So serve and serve diligently so that you become attractive in the next election and they will consider you. Because your main focus is always to win political power to come and serve the good people.
All right. Interesting. But do you think, with regards to what Afenyo is doing, saying that he's proposing genuine efforts in case Abdullahi Jinapo needs any investigation or any help, he's actually ready. Do you think is another tactic to gain the trust of we Ghanaians in their party?
You see, near Afenyo Kano, Abdullahi too is a very discerning person. Are you getting it? In any case, you can have your say. I'll have my way.
Yeah.
To watch the wedding. But when so near me,
and secondly, I mean, is Afenyo saying Jinapo doesn't know what to do? Yeah, I mean, you were there. You didn't do anything.
You didn't do anything.
So why all of a sudden?
All of a sudden, what is right? If you are witch,
because you were once there.
If you are witch, you come and hunt.
And you didn't do anything about it. And right now you have been caught red-handed.
That is it.
You want to offer support.
That is it. I think John Jinapo too knows better. So he doesn't need Afenyo to come and tell him what he should do. Come on, a whole sector minister, cabinet minister, he knows better.
All right, he knows better. You can join the conversation on our social media platform. This is still the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. You can log on to our Facebook channel at Ghana Talks Radio, Instagram at Ghana Talks Radio, YouTube at Ghana Talks Radio, and X at Ghana Talks Radio. So moving on. Let's dive into our last topic for discussion. Which is presidency aired in publicizing petition on Chief Justice removal. So the issue of publicizing sensitive positions like those concerning the removal of a Chief Justice raises critical questions about transparency versus discretion. On one hand, making such petition public can promote accountability and then allow citizens to engage in the democratic progress. So before we move on, what's your general overview of the whole petition of the removal of the CJ?
Well, what does the law state? What does the law stipulate in relation to this? Because Article 146 Clause 6 says that the president can only do this in consultation with the Council of State. So that doesn't seem as if that the president is veto powering all alone. But even though he's the president, honestly, baby or baby animal must be within the remit of the law. And see what does the law says, you must do that in consultation with the Council of State. So whatever His Excellency is seeking to achieve in relation to the removal of the CJ. It must go through a process. And the process is the Council of State. For them to go through, that is the modality. And I think the same CJ too has also written to the president to give her
copies of the petitions that were brought
so
to
that
him.
she can also respond in the same vein. I see this very interesting, but Ghana, we are still learning. We are learning, but I see this thing two-sided of it. Because I want to relate it to something that happened yesterday or some time ago. Because, like my secondary school teacher will tell you that something happened earlier that has necessitated that fight. We were all in this country when a faceless people brought a petition for the removal of Charlotte Osei.
Yes.
They see and but the thing was able to go through process to get Charlotte Osei removed.
And even when she requested for a copy of her petition, was it given to her?
She wasn't given that fair hearing. But you see, the rule of natural justice will tell you that give people fair hearing. But today, the CJ is petitioning the president.
For copies.
Now the family charge and I'm so like now may responded to you. So it was bad yesterday. So it is going to be good today. Let's stop. We are building a nation. I always say, don't let people begin to feel that and let 2 minutes be counter into the 2 minutes because is and then so.
But do you think the president has erred in this whole
bringing
process?
it publicly?
That's why I'm saying that what does the law state? Also, you should do that in consultation with the Council of State.
So then he hasn't done it.
So he hasn't done that. So why should you be in a haste to, as it were, bring it to the public domain? Remember that you're the Mran, you're the Bumaino, you're the Mran, you're the Ejuma. And the fact says we are president doesn't mean that you get it right at all time.
So in this case, you think the president has erred?
Oh, for me.
So
okay, you shouldn't even have. But Emrano Estate a point on first one called the bear. Let it go through the Council of State, then whatever. And I make us a Charlotte say time. The same thing happened. Obesi and one when your opportunity. I'm aware who Sanko for common petition now. On po about be in a petition or about responded.
Okay.
And 2 wrongs don't make a right.
Okay.
Two wrongs don't make a right. So for me, if it is wrong yesterday, it can be right today. Today too, it will continue to be wrong. But you see, it is early days yet. Let's see how the whole thing will unfold. Let's see how it will unfold.
Saying that we define the law by the law. First of all, what I know from this whole thing, what I've been educated on is that the president, after receiving the petition, the right thing to do is to consult the Council of State before he makes a decision.
Yeah.
Now he can only bring in the petitioned, the person in case, which is the CG, after he has made a decision based on his consultation with the Council of State.
Okay.
So the right thing he did, or the right process is whatever he did. Sanka odema omuwie no, ana o decided without making the woman aware, ana nke problem. We are in a democratic era. The media space is very active.
Yeah, very active.
The petition being submitted to the president already. Was it the president who brought it out that I've been petitioned to remove the Chief Justice?
No. He said he has received a petition. But you see, all these things, I'm happy because it's giving room for us to know the beauty of the democracy that we are all practicing. And remember that the president, because he had 2 minutes and son in Chile sebi 2 minutes on some fine your pebia until I answer a woman. And remember that yenya a whole member of parliament who also think that the action of the president is unconstitutional. And he has petitioned the court, and the matter is going to be heard on the 2nd of April. Until America said Vincent Asifua has taken it to court. Until America said it is early days yet. Let's see how the whole thing will play. But anyhow it is, anyhow the whole thing is going to play out. Senra a year wronger and let into me right. We are building a nation. Let's do things right. Let's do things right. Intermediate you. Asam koko to crown to me can be brave because answer or china no we see a free be contempt wedding kind where the court in any.
Okay.
Are you getting it? So I think 2nd April there's going to be a hearing because Vincent Asifua thinks the action of the president is unconstitutional.
In which way? Like that is where which of the actions was unconstitutional?
So I think let the framers of the law or possibly the people that have the power to interpret the law.
No,
they should do the interpretation.
I am
for
actually asking you if maybe you've read his submission to the court that maybe the president did this and that, which is unconstitutional.
Now you see, I'm not really privy to the thing that possibly has done that
he thinks is
negates what the law even says. But then on the face of it, Mpoye say even he should have gone through that through the Council of State, but he chose to bring it to the public domain without necessarily making the.
That is where we are getting the entire.
That's why I'm saying that the matter in question.
Because you know why I'm asking this. I want to know where you read that or got that, because I haven't heard anyone actually make that as the case, which is the reason why the president was wrong.
So PK, that is why somebody too is testing the law on it.
No, maybe you are not getting me.
Okay.
That particular reason why you say someone is testing the law with is why I'm saying that I haven't heard, because I haven't even heard the Asifua himself saying that is the reason why he's petitioning the president.
Because for me, I think Asifua thinks a quiet person will CJ in Fisono and Yamra Kwanso.
Let the petition go through. The process of the petition is nowhere near wrong yet. That is the actual fact of the matter. At the end of the day, the president cannot take the CJ out on any baseless grounds. That's why the Council of State is there. That's why he has consulted them. But the narrative being published now or being propagated now seems like the president has made it public when he shouldn't have made it public. First of all, the law has never stated to the president that he can't make it public or not. The law states that for him to consider the petition, it needs to go through the Council of State.
The Council of State.
Has he done that? Yes, he has.
He has.
As if we are, I think, is just running mouth. His own lecturer, Lawyer Martin Kwebu, they have this thing between them. Anytime as if we tries to debunk something in the law, then Martin Kwebu will be like, as if I taught you law and you are not teaching me. So yes, we've aside him, have you heard any lawyer come out? So I think that as a first whole argument is the entire CJ not getting not being removed. But it's not about the process, because so far the process hasn't been aired yet.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the point. But for Asafua's stand to successfully argue the petition, that's a whole different topic altogether. He just doesn't want the CJ to be removed.
And I believe it is within his democratic right to exercise that.
Oh yes, for that one. So for me, I'm only establishing the fact that so far the president hasn't aired in the process of the whole thing.
The petition.
So me, let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. Because even though we're president, they did 2 million amount. And so 2 million so interested because 2 million were in termity. Said we are extremely powerful BBM. So if a citizen of the land too think that and I'm on to be cautionary, I'm not clearing my mind. Until let me also go to the court and go and seek interpretation and clearance on. It is also within the ambit of the law for him to do that.
No, I'm coming on. I want us to get this thing very clear.
Okay. Make your point.
I think that Bexon is not getting what Asifua is saying based on your submission.
Okay. Help me out.
Asifua is fighting for the CG not to be removed. Not the process. Because your submission is making it seem like the president is overstepping his bounds.
Or maybe went to the wrong procedure to
just because he's the president. He hasn't aired yet. So we can't fault the president yet.
We have been in this country when a president has exercised power to make sure that an electoral commissioner who is independent of a work, sacked from a work.
Has this president done that?
What can't PK, are you telling me that with this target that we are all witnessing, if this thing successfully should go through whatever it is, the Chief Justice will be removed? Because we have a precedence to that effect. We have a precedence, a BSc pen.
If the Chief Justice,
let's petition the same president.
Let's not use the precedent. Let's not use the precedent to justify this.
One at a time.
Let's look at the Chief Justice. I'm not even justifying whether she should be removed or not. What I am saying is that based on your submission and from how far the issue have gone to, you are making it seem like if the ordinary Ghanaian is listening, he will feel like, bia Mahama Krani to me or won't process and one fast
yeah.
That is what I want us to establish.
Okay.
Because it's a very delicate matter that if we get a single step wrong of misinforming the public, we might get the entire thing wrong at the end of the day.
Okay.
No, but then PK, fine. For me, you are equally making a point. But my point I am also saying is that whether the president was able to go through due process to make sure that whatever decision or petition we will receive or the is seeing the light of day. No?
Okay.
It is his exclusive right. But remember that even though it might be your exclusive right as a president, wanamuntu bi a obetu a tememu ne bi so nye happy with it no, he will also activate the same umbrano to see clarity around it. So my point is, the angle I am also coming from is that once upon a time we equally had somebody seated in that same seat as a president. Behind the scene, somebody, triggered something that, we are here when some faceless people or somebody brought petition.
Okay.
And come back, whether faceless they were there or nobody, somebody has been taken out of her job. And then another president who is sitting there, a same process, society free, if you saw her ever. It will still, for me, still gives the cause to worry that the likelihood and the tendency that same is going to happen today, it's very slim that it can happen. That is where I am coming from. But it is not to discredit that whatever His Excellency is doing is wrong, and I say I am quick to put judgment on him. No, who am I? I can't do that. But my point is, you say asem you try asem no hu bi near the ayedase. ABC enra. Are you getting it? Na say we are seeing same trajectory. The outcome of the results will mean here is see enra no be pepepe. So unless something is proven beyond doubt on my part, say until that we end to go to as it happened.
Okay,
so I think just be fair a bit to me on this. Because we will agree to disagree.
No. My point that I was making was based on we not chastising the president whilst he hasn't done anything wrong yet.
Okay.
That is the whole point. And secondly, do you think precedents not being repeated is a much reason for us to keep the CJ even if she's not fit for her post?
And PK, I'm saying this on authority. I can't speak to the substance of this matter entirely because Obidia court. Let's see how the whole thing will play out.
I know I am taking your opinion on it generally. Say you are talking about precedence. Yesterday it happened.
It happened
through
before.
same process. Now, before I even re-establish my question, let's look at this process again. In the previous one, the faceless people, as you put it, we never heard of them. Secondly, the petition was never made public to even the person to know that this and this is why I am being removed.
Okay.
But this one, the people, everyone who has petitioned the president has come out that I have petitioned the president to remove this person. Secondly, the president has taken it in consultation with the Council of State. Thirdly, he has presented it to the CG and requested a 10-day ultimatum to have a response. In all this, can we establish that it is not the same process between the two presidents? And secondly, if precedence was set, even though it isn't, but just oppose, are you saying if the petitions are in the right space to get the CJ removed? Because we are talking about the entire judicial system of the country.
As the Chief Justice.
So just because of precedence, you think even if she is not fit to forego precedence, we should still maintain her?
He is trying to tie my hands at my back.
Please, please, I have put in the rope away. I won't tie it.
You will release.
And then I pray so much that
nobody.
I don't step into this. But you see, well, PK was making point in relation to precedence, and then the other leg of it, even if not precedence, say on your feet, should she still be maintained at the place? You see? Yes, sir. We are practicing democracy. And democracy, if you think democracy is expensive, then you can do things anyhow. All these things help build the democracy that as a nation we are all yearning for and then working at it. Are you getting it? So in as much as the citizens of the state have something to say in any move around, and the president, who is the father of the land too, thinks that things ought to be done and be done well.
Okay.
According to say, I can't fool baby. Say, when the badging yet tassen nyansa phone make that move. So whatever it is around, you know, is it like I'm saying? If the person is not fit for purpose, why should the person be there?
Be there.
Okay.
Are you getting it?
Okay.
If the person is not fit for purpose, the person ought not to be there. So he must go for them, because you shouldn't be putting one person in square holes. So if he's not fit, let him or her go through whatever process and rudiment. They will say, "Jumano, unto me yet we fall short until you infernal no be to my name."
Okay.
Remember, we have a nation to build.
All right.
And then grow the nation and grow the people in it. For me, I can't know better than the president. I will only speak the mind of the ordinary Ghanaian. Are you getting it? The president will always know better. But even in the midst of he even knowing better, crown or anypa, obey to me air along the line, it will still take the same people to draw his attention that are distant. So for me, yes, like PK said, we can't put one pair in square holes.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be too quick and conclude. It is early days. Let's see how the whole thing unfolds.
Okay.
That is what I can say.
But personally, you haven't noticed any
For me, no.
for her removal, maybe incompetency,
For me,
poor
no.
performance,
For
or
me, no.
questionable.
For me, no. And
Nothing.
the fact that it's no doesn't mean that I'm not privy to something. And anything I may count, but me a preview. Everyone will say,
Sure.
are you getting it?
All right.
I'm not privy to anything.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Your last words, co-host.
I think we are in a space where the interest of the country should be the ultimate priority for everyone,
Okay.
regardless of your political colors.
Sure.
Because no matter the party in power, if things go sideways, you are affected.
Yeah.
Whether it's your party or not, you are affected.
Everyone is involved.
So as Ghanaians, let's all unite in fighting for Ghana first and foremost, before any other thing. As Ghanaians, that should be our utmost priority in whichever space we are serving, in whatever thing we are doing. Let's put Ghana first. Not our political parties, not our religions, not our officers, but the nation first. And on Ebema, yet to me, I build it or mine.
So let's put Ghana first before any other political party, and this is going to help us build the nation and be successful as a country. This is where we draw the curtains for today's breakfast show. Thank you so much, Mr. Archer Bexton, for joining us on the show, and then your informed insights on the discussion. And to my co-host, Esnam, thank you so much for joining. Hadish Jancha, I'll use this opportunity to wish all our Muslim brothers and sisters a happy Salah, Badikal Salah. See you same time tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.